This week on the PressureCast, Mario Kart goes to 200 cc's, Halo 5 gets a release date, and OnLive goes unlive. Plus, impressions of Axiom Verge, MLB The Show, and the Triad Wars beta. Everything happening in the world of video games is here, now, on the PressureCast. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 72nd episode of the PressureCast, the weekly video game news panic that posts every single Monday on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and America's longest-running independent newspaper at expressmilwaukee.com and powered by videogamesardumb.com. My name is Colin Tanner, and I'm your host, as always. And across from me, Brandon, Bring the Pain Taylor.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going so good, man. We're going to have some correspondence from Steve, who is in New Orleans, probably getting drunk on Bourbon Street as we speak.
Actually saw a video, I think, on Instagram of him dancing.
That sounds like him.
Something.
It sounds like
what is this? I don't know who this person is. Oh my god, it's Steve.
Oh,
Steve,
great.
You're drunk.
Yeah, calm down, Steve. If you're listening to this, calm down, Steve. We have like a voicemail from him. I'm gonna play it later in the show, so we can all laugh at him. He doesn't listen to the show. We can laugh at him behind his back. Okay, we have a lot of news to get to this week. I think we should start off, as we always do, with the earth-shattering stories. What if I told you, Brendan, that there was a Nintendo Direct that was all about upcoming games and amiibos? Would you believe me?
I would not. That sounds absolutely unbelievable.
You know what? I'm about to blow your mind. First and foremost, Nintendo did have a Nintendo Direct this week.
What?
I know. And they announced a couple of release dates, including Mario Maker is going to be released this September. We don't have a date yet, but Mario Maker is coming this September. It allows you to make your own Mario games. You've seen footage on this game, right?
Yes. Yeah, I saw a video of it. I'm actually really excited for that.
I know. It makes you just kind of be like, well, I think I can make a better Mario stage than the last couple of New Super Mario stages.
I know I can't, but I know other people can, and I look forward to playing those stages.
Let's just hope they have an online capability where you can share with friends. That's still kind of up in the air. They never confirm that. If that's not available, no buy. Can't do it.
I think they kind of have to.
Right?
I mean,
well,
that's kind of the standard now with games where you can create things, is that you have to be able to play other people's versions.
It's been the standard for like 8 years, so hopefully they'll catch up to that. Also, we know that Splatoon is going to be launching on May 29th. Once again, it's just like 2 months away. They're just like, oh yeah, that's coming out, by the way. So I'm definitely going to be playing Splatoon. Can't wait for that. It's going to have some deathmatch, formulas, stuff like that. They actually said deathmatch on the Nintendo Direct. I was like, whoa. They just acknowledged a regular term that people know that play video games. None of that free to start terminology.
Happy team fight each other rounds.
That's the happy fight, online happy fight. It can't be online. It has to be global happy fight. Do they even say online?
Global networked happy fight team battle.
Yeah, they don't say online on Mario Kart. I think they do say network.
Probably.
That's crazy. We also learned that Fire Emblem for the new 3DS, well, the new Fire Emblem for 3DS, not new 3DS, is coming in 2016. Here's something different. Normally you'd play as like the side character, someone that would observe the greater narrative. And in this one, your character that you create is going to be the main character. They're going to be the leader. They're going to make the big choices. I'm a little concerned. I really like the last Fire Emblem. Did you pick that up?
Not yet.
Holy crap. That is...
I keep hearing that from people.
You know what? If you wait 20 years to play it, still play it. It will always be good. It's one of those games where you go, yep, I can see how this will always last, just like the Game Boy Advance titles or the NES titles. There is something kind of comforting about not being the king and just kind of working for the king. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it is good to be the king. We both know that.
Yeah.
However,
obviously,
I like being the advisor. I just like standing on the side. but that will be pretty cool. If you want to see more Fire Emblem stuff, congratulations. Shin Megami Tensei, Cross Fire Emblem. We got some more footage of that. Looks a lot like Persona. Lots of Tokyo environments and silhouettes, like colorful silhouettes.
And it's going to take like 150 hours to beat.
If you combine a Fire Emblem and a Shin Megami Tensei game, I think it'll last 4,000 to 5,000 years. I honestly, that's why I haven't played Persona 3 or Persona 4 yet. I own all of them. I played them, a bit, but I always drop off because I'm like, I need to like do something else. Like I can't spend all this time here.
It looks good, but I don't really have that kind of time right now.
I know what you mean, man. It's just like, well, when do you? Like what, when you're a child? Like you can't go back in time.
I don't know. I mean, when I was in college, I had so much more going on, but I feel like I had so much more time to play video games.
Yeah, a lot of people drop out of school because of World of Warcraft. Anyway, moving on. That's really nothing to do with what we're talking about. Attack on Titan, Humanity in Chains. That's uplifting. Okay. It was officially announced that it will be coming to North America and Europe this May. Of course, it's being published by Atlas. If you actually go on to the eShop, you can watch the first 2 episodes of the anime Attack on Titan, in which it is based off of, for free.
I've heard good things about that anime.
Me too.
I haven't watched it yet, but
I'm very picky when it comes to anime. It's got to be about magical dream girls that spin around and transform in outfits, and they have to be related to celestial bodies.
I think I'm even pickier. The only anime that I like is Princess Mononoke.
That is Miyazaki, man. It's so good. Speaking of anime, Pokemon, an anime, Pokemon Rumble World is coming to the 3DS this week, April 8th, and guess what? It is free to start. Not free to play. Free to start, according to Nintendo. That's kind of exciting, I think. Being able to have a brand new Pokemon game and it's going to be free to play. Apparently, Pokemon Shuffle did very well for them. A couple of million downloads, according to unnamed sources, which is pretty good.
It is a Pokemon like puzzle type game, though, right? Not like a Pokemon RPG that's free.
That's what I understand.
So we're clear and people don't start freaking out that there's going to be a free actual Pokemon game.
Yeah, I've never actually played Pokemon Rumble before. I have no idea what it is. I'm not even going to lie to you. I have absolutely no clue whatsoever.
It's like a Pokemon fighting game. Oh, wait, they all are.
Oh, Pokken. Pokken's actually going to be the Pokemon fighting game from Namco Bandai. But that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. They had no news on that. The Wii U Virtual Console officially got Nintendo 64 and Nintendo DS games. If you want to know more about the Nintendo DS games, you can go over to my YouTube channel and check out the video. It did very well this week. It was very exciting. It's weird playing a DS game on there. The 2 games they launched were Yoshi's Island DS, which is awful, and Mario 64, which is still really good, but kind of weird to play with a really smooth gamepad controller. Like, you want that 8 directions of the 64 controller, that rigid. I mean, if you grew up with that and you're in any way familiar with that concept, it's very difficult to go this perfectly smooth circle.
Yeah, those grooves make it a little bit easier to kind of go in specific directions instead of kind of veering one way or the other.
Oh, you were telling me, especially when it gets to the more difficult parts where you have to jump in particular areas, it just flings all around the room. Yeah. Now, Yoshi's Island DS, on the other hand, is just a bad game. It is a bad game. It was always a bad game. It was a bad game when it launched. I like Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island DS is just awful.
10 out of 10?
Yes, would play again. The problem, especially with this, is that you actually have to try and juggle these 2 screens on a single television, and it never looks right.
So the DS games on the Wii U, is it both screens are on the TV?
Oh, it can be. There's actually a couple different options. One of them is having one screen on top of another screen. That's pretty normal. Unfortunately, the Wii U is actually sideways. That's meant for only games that use the stylus. So if you try and actually use the joystick, it would mean that like up is, or left is up. You know what I'm saying? Like, it confuses everything. So that's not feasible. Otherwise, you have to have, like, the top screen's big and the bottom screen's tiny. Or the bottom screen's tiny and the top screen's big. You know, it's like, why? Why do we have to...
Can't you just have the game, like the main game screen on the TV and then the touchpad screen on the gamepad?
Yeah, sure, but that's... you can, but the problem is that on Yoshi's Island, it's literally... You need the top and bottom screen. You need to have both because he's jumping up to the top screen and down to the bottom screen. It's insane.
It's on both screens?
Yeah.
So that sounds horrible.
It's absolutely horrible. But the weirdest part about all of this is that you can actually have a mode. When you turn it on, it's literally just an image of a 2005 DS and just the game playing on it. And it's so tiny. So tiny. So bizarre. But hey, here's the good news. Yoshi's Island sucks, right? But here's what's going to be coming up for the 64 Virtual Console and the DS Virtual Console on Wii U. You're going to have Donkey Kong 64 is coming out on the 16th. Mario Kart DS is coming out on the 23rd. I love Mario Kart DS. Paper Mario from 64 is coming out.
I love that game.
You like that game? Do you ever play Thousand Year Door?
Yes. I don't think I finished it, but I did play most of it.
Oh yeah, it's 1,000 years long. I don't blame you. Yoshi's Touch and Go. Good God, he's cloning. He's multiplying. Stop him. And WarioWare Touched on the 9th. One of my favorite DS games of all time. Can't wait for that. I'm definitely doing a video on that. I'm gonna do 5 videos on it. I'm gonna do every single second of that game on YouTube. Amiibo Tap is a brand new application for the Wii U. The way that it works is that you will take one of your Amiibos, let's say Mario, and tap him on the Wii U gamepad, and you play a short demo of Super Mario Brothers. And it's only 2 minutes long, kind of like Nintendo Remix.
Didn't they already talk about those?
They
at
did.
one point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Here's what they had to say about this. This is from Iwata. With this app, once you tap your Amiibo on the NFC area of the gamepad, you will be able to play highlighted scenes of one certain title for NES or Super NES. You cannot play the entire game due to a time limit, but another tap of the Amiibo will enable you to try another highlighted scene in the game. We hope when you tap your Amiibo, the quick changing game scenes will pleasantly surprise you and make you feel as though you have just exchanged a game cartridge. It's an interesting concept. I'm not really sure what it's going to be like until I actually use it. I do like the idea of like maybe if you have that Little Mac from Punch-Out, if you were to tap him on the Amiibo, it's like, oh, hey, here, try and fight Bald Bull. Like, it just takes you to Bald Bull right away. I could see being into that.
You really had to bring up the Little Mac Amiibo specifically?
They actually announced that they're going to be reissuing that. No joke.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
wow.
Now you're all happy about it.
Yeah, I am. I actually hadn't heard that. I'm really excited now.
We have so much more Amiibo news because that was actually a large portion of this Nintendo Direct. They talked about the next wave, Wave 4 and 5. On May 29th, you will get Charizard, Pac-Man, Wario, Jigglypuff, Greninja, Lucina, Robin, and Ness. And in July, they will have Dark Pit, Paulentina, whatever her name is from Kid Icarus. Then in September, they'll have Bowser Jr., Pikmin, Zero Suit Samus, Ganondorf, and Dr. Mario, which is kind of nice. Of course, they're also going to have Yoshi's Woolly World ones, where they'll have a green, pink, or blue Yoshi. It's made out of yarn, apparently, so it's more like a plushie, which is kind of different, And Splatoon is also getting their own set. You can either buy boy or you can buy girl, but if you want to have the inky enemy, you actually have to buy a pack of 3. That's the only way to get the inky enemy. You have to buy all 3 at once. They've also promised that there's going to be more Marth Amiibos coming in May. And yeah, it's kind of exciting. Here's the weird part about all of this, though. Animal Crossing Happy Homemaker is going to be getting Amiibo cards. So apparently Amiibo is no longer about being a solid statue. It can be a cloth Beanie Baby wannabe, or it can also be a card. It just sounds like they're saving on production, doesn't it?
Well, Amiibo was never about little statues. It was always just about more money. Like, it was never about integrity and providing a good product to the customers. It was always about, fuck you, give me your money.
Yeah, okay.
That's what because they don't really do much.
No.
But they're more than happy charging, like, what, $12 for them?
Similar to 10.
And then being like, hey, this Marth one isn't really selling well, but we're not going to have it anymore. Oh, look, they all sold. Wow. That was weird. We didn't see that coming.
Well, and what helps is also that they have store-exclusive Amiibos. In fact, some of those that we just talked about are going to be exclusive to particular stores so that you will have to rush out and knock over an old lady on your way to Walmart. At Toys R Us, you can get Greninja. Over at Target, you can get Jigglypuff. Over at GameStop, you can get Ness. These are all exclusive to those individual places, which, God, I mean, all the gas money alone must just be insane unless, I don't know, you have a Target, a Walmart, and a GameStop right next to each other, which I assume maybe if you're in Kentucky, but I don't really know where else. Sorry, Kentucky listeners. By the way, Amiibo Wave 4 had some pre-orders at GameStop.com. It sold out within minutes and actually crashed the site. No joke. Even GameStop had to put out a statement that said, due to very strong demand for the newest wave of Nintendo Amiibo figurines, GameStop is experiencing some technical issues with our website. At this time, we are accepting pre-orders of Amiibo in stores only. You know what happened? Apparently, this is just from eyewitness reports, people just started showing up at GameStop right thereafter. Just lines of people. It was insane.
And you know what the problem is?
What?
Only one of those people, out of all the people in the world that showed up at GameStops or pre-ordered them online, only one of them actually wants to use the amiibo. The rest of them just want to try and flip them on eBay for more money.
Did you see that tweet a couple of weeks ago? The eBay just sent out a tweet that's like, hey, this gold Mario sold out at Walmart, but it's always here at eBay. And they were linking to a $200 auction for a gold amiibo.
Yep.
What the hell, man? Okay,
welcome to capitalism, kids.
Let's talk about happier things. Let's talk about socialism, because Mario Kart 8 is getting free DLC, and that DLC includes the 200cc mode. Now, me and you were talking out there, and I mean, everybody that wants to brag and be like, oh, I play only 150cc. I'm a real man. I don't like 150cc. It's too fast for me. I get sad.
I play 150cc when introducing someone to the game for the first time. Because then I look like I'm okay at it, and they're really, really bad at it, so it makes me feel a little better.
It's like showing a 3-year-old yourself kicking a football and being like, see, I'm the strongest man in the world, you know?
That's pretty much how adulthood works.
Oh, okay. So, of course, there's 50cc, 100cc, 150cc. That's been the way since all the way back on the original SNES Super Mario Kart. Well, now we're going to get 200cc's, and it's going to be coming out at the exact same day as the second DLC pack, which is April 23rd. That was originally scheduled for May. They pulled it forward, and that means 3 new racers. You got that Dry Bowser.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm
creepy.
Waiting for that one.
It's creepy, man.
Super weird.
You got Villager, Woot, and Isabella. I'm not really sure who Isabella is. I actually forgot. There's also 4 vehicles and 8 courses. One of those courses is Animal Crossing, and will change with the seasons. It'll be snowier when you play it during winter, and when this comes out in May, it's going to be springtime in the game. Is that not cool?
That is pretty cool. Except when you want to play Animal Crossing, and then you have to change the date on your system so you can actually get stuff done.
Same with Seaman. You gotta make the Seaman grow. That's a Dreamcast game, kids. Don't yell at me in the comments. Moving on.
Are you going to explain what a Dreamcast is?
No, you damn hooligans. Mario Kart 8 actually is going to additionally get more Amiibo-compatible racers. That includes Mega Man and Pac-Man, which you'll earn costumes for. You won't actually play as Mega Man. I'm sorry. You just get costumes.
Oh.
Like Mega Man costumes.
Couldn't they just put all of these Smash Brothers characters into the game?
No, but speaking of Smash Brothers, Mewtwo is coming on April 28th and will be $4 each if you buy it on 3DS and Wii U, or $5 for both. Some interesting price structure right there. But wait, it gets weirder. There's going to be some brand new costumes for your Mii fighters, including Link, Catsuit, X from Mega Man X, Monkey, I don't know what Monkey is, Majora's Mask, there you go, Proto Man. Here's what's weird about it. You can buy individual costumes for 75 cents or buy a bundle, so you get on the 3DS and Wii U for $1.15. 75 cents for a costume, that's a microtransaction, isn't it?
Yeah, it's becoming Team Fortress.
But, like, we never... Oh, God. Don't even mention... You're scaring me. I don't want to see hats everywhere I go. This is very important, because previously they said, give us $8. We're going to give you 4 courses. We're going to give you all these costumes for Mario Kart, right? Well, now they're saying, hey, 75 cents for this costume. That's a microtransaction. Nintendo's never done a microtransaction. Is this looking into the future of Nintendo's plans for DLC?
Well, yeah. If you want to get that mushroom for the next level on Mario, you got to pay 50 cents.
You are bringing up that damn webcomic again, aren't you? That webcomic? Why can't I say webcomic?
I actually have no idea what you're talking about. I just think microtransactions are going to destroy video games.
Well, one thing they won't destroy is Mother 3.
Stop building your segues on top of my comments.
I'm putting these segues over. I'm always putting the segues over.
You're just burying me with these segues.
Burying you? Yes, thanks, Hulk Hogan. You'll be able to play as Lucas from Mother 3. Of course, he was in the last one, that Super Smash Brothers Brawl.
Yes.
So, yeah, cool character, not a great game. So that was bad timing on their part. But he'll be downloadable. But also, they're going to have the Smash Fighter ballot where people can vote to see who they want it to be in DLC for the Smash Brothers, which is really exciting. Some people have suggested, why don't we have, Mega Man X? Some people have said, why don't we have Goku? Personally, is there anyone that you want to see in Super Smash Brothers?
I don't understand why Goku would be in Smash Brothers.
That's what makes it great.
I mean, I get that it's like, oh, Dragon Ball Z, but it's like, Like, shouldn't it be like Nintendo or
No.
retro gaming characters at least?
No, because they had like Solid Snake on there, for Melee. Or no, for Brawl. That didn't make any sense. It was awesome. What is Solid Snake doing there in his little suit?
I guess, but at least Snake is a video game character. Goku is a cartoon character that is in video games.
That's true. Okay, well, who do you want there, Mr. Smarty Pants?
The Dragonborn from Skyrim. How about that?
Huh, that's an interesting...
Yeah, see? It makes no sense.
I don't think there's a single Bethesda title out on the Wii U. Or on the Wii, now that I say that out loud. I would prefer...
What about Soap from Call of Duty? There was a Call of Duty game on the Wii.
Okay, that's pretty good. I would like to see Robin Williams from Dead Poets Society. I think that would be really good. I'd like to see any variation of Ron Howard. That would be very interesting. Preferably younger Ron Howard when he started directing.
What about Majora's Mask Link and he can put on masks?
I'd like that. I like. What would happen to Kirby if he eats you? He just gets all the masks?
Sure. And then he becomes the Majora's Mask.
Dude, we should just somehow, if you are listening to this, go to the Street Fighter ballot and please enter Blue Kirby. I want everyone to write Blue Kirby because Blue Kirby is already a color variation for Kirby, but I want Blue Kirby to become number one. I want there to be such a strong demand for Blue Kirby
and
that
then
they have
Sakurai's going to get mad and not do anything.
He's going to be like, sure, I can go back to sleep then. Hey, make that blue. There's also going to be...
Miyamoto, get off the couch. It's my turn.
Yeah, the therapist couch. Jesus. Therapist couch. I said therapist couch. The therapist couch. Maybe I need to go back to therapy. Speech therapy, that is. Waka waka, honk honk. Moving on. There are new Street Pass games coming to the 3DS. One of them is Ultimate Angler, which is a fishing game. Ooh. And Battleground Z, where you fight hordes of zombies. Each of them will be $5, but you can get them in a bundle for $8 if you really want to play Street Pass games.
You can buy both of those two very disparate games you can buy in a bundle together.
Because they're technically both Street Pass games. Whatever. Nintendo.
Right.
Hashtag Nintendo.
Insta-buy.
And that is exactly what we had for Nintendo Direct. I've got to say, all in all, I was very impressed with what they had. We got release dates. We are talking about the future of Nintendo right now without Zelda. Zelda won't be arriving until 2016 at the very earliest. All in all, I really liked it. I like the idea of getting 64 games and DS games on the Wii U. I like the idea of Splatoon coming out in 2 months. That's pretty good for spring. We already kind of knew that was happening. And I'm optimistic that they can get Mario Maker out in September. Are there any 64 games or DS games you want to see come to the service? Or do you just basically have all your old cartridges?
I really want to play Blast Corps again.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Oh, you can just butt stomp through skyscrapers.
Yeah, it's not specifically good, but it's fun as hell.
You know what? It's kind of like Minecraft before Minecraft in a weird way, except just the destruction element.
I would like if somebody made an HD remaster of WWF No Mercy.
I would rather have... okay, all right, I'll take No Mercy, so long as it fixes all the frame rate issues that game had. Because, God...
Well, if it was an HD remaster, they'd probably fix that.
It was just so awful. Like, you'd have Mr. Ass running to the ring, and it's chomping down to 8 frames a second. And those games were never pretty to begin with. Well, that's going to do it for Nintendo Direct. We have our second earth-shattering story of the week, which really shouldn't be an earth-shattering story, but this got so much attention that I think we need to put this at the very front. OnLive, the service that you probably haven't heard anyone mention since the very first time you heard someone say OnLive, 3 years ago or 4 years ago, whenever that was, it's shutting down. Sony has acquired a number of the company's assets, which are mostly patents. You got to remember that Sony has Gaikai, their own streaming service, which created PlayStation Now. Very successful streaming service, I might add. And I'm not talking financially. I think it works quite well. I'm talking about, from a usability standpoint. People somehow took this to mean that
Sony bought and shut down OnLive. That's what you're saying, right?
No.
That is the story that we're saying.
Brandon, no. What I'm trying to say is Sony bought the assets of a company that was already closing down.
Oh. It's
Okay.
almost like I should have actually waited for you to explain it or got more information before I started sensationalizing.
Bro, you have no idea, because this became one of the number one stories on Facebook, I want to say yesterday or 2 days ago, and the news had broken a day before.
So what was the headline? Sony buys OnLive, you'll never believe what happens next?
Yeah. Sony buys OnLive with this one weird trick.
Top 10 times that Sony bought OnLive.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Doctors hate Sony for buying OnLive.
Every time I'm on Facebook and I see a story that says, like, the end of it is, you'll never believe what happens next, my immediate answer in my head is, I bet you I don't give a fuck, and I'm never gonna watch this.
I bet I can believe it.
Yeah,
I believe it.
It's like, you know what? Keep your clickbait. I am gonna just go somewhere else. No, it's just not happening.
Well, OnLive users are gonna have to go somewhere else. Honk honk, because
and you'll never believe what happened.
Here's literally what an OnLive representative said. Users will continue to have access to online services until April 30th, 2015, including the OnLive game services, OnLive Desktop, which is what a lot of Mac users use to play Windows games, and SL Go, which is for Second Life. After today's date, no further subscription renewals will be charged for any of those services. Users whose subscriptions renewed on or after March 28th will be refunded. Following the termination of the company's services and related products, OnLive will engage in an orderly wind down of the company and cease operations. OnLive was just never a success. I mean, I heard about it in Europe, but I never heard about anyone giving a damn about it in America. The only thing I ever saw was just, God, I don't even remember. It was just generic third-person shooters that were being demoed at a local Target or Kmart. I never saw anyone talk about how great OnLive was.
Like, I know what OnLive is. Like, I know that it
you can
is
eat it, right?
I know that
is it a car?
This is the full extension of my knowledge of OnLive. It is a thing related to video games that's called OnLive that is now getting shut down. Like, that's all I know.
It was orange and black.
I know that too.
Okay.
But
I don't know. Now you're changing your story, mister.
Well, no, like, I just didn't feel like knowing that it was orange and black was relevant information.
Hey, you said that was everything you knew about OnLive.
All right. Also, I think the font was, like, kind of electric-y looking.
It kind of reminded me of Mountain Dew Livewire.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Electric-y looking.
Well,
yeah.
Basically, in case you don't know, OnLive was a service that streamed games directly to people through either a device that they purchased or on desktop. It was a subscription fee. You could play a bunch of games. You could buy games, and then it would stream directly to your system. If you had pretty good internet, it actually worked, I thought, reasonably well. That's why Sony purchased up these assets. It's just getting the rights and patents to certain concepts. OnLive, as we can all say, was a failure because it was the whole system. OnLive, if they had gone to Sony and said, hey, we want to make this thing for PlayStation, we're going to call it OnLive. Okay, that's one idea. But like creating your own controller and having your own system and then creating your own internal service, it was never going to work. It's so much money. You can't make up for that. You can't compete against Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft with, I mean, look at what happened to Ouya. I mean,
what now?
Ouya was this mythical creature that people claim to have seen, but I doubt it.
Oh, wait, it's that weird box with the shitty controller. I have one of those.
The Stradivarius of controllers, according to
I have one of those. It's actually currently being used as a dust collector in my house.
That is very good. Right next to the pet rock.
Yep.
Here's some bad news, though. If you do have OnLive, one of the things they had to mention was there will, if let's say you have a Steam library on your OnLive account, you don't get to hold on to that. All the games that you bought on Steam through OnLive because your computer wasn't fast enough. Like, let's say you had like a, 4 gigabyte RAM, maybe like a 1.6 gigahertz computer. And you're like, oh, well, I want to play on a beefier computer. So you went through OnLive, kind of like a cloud-based gaming service. Well, if you buy games on Steam through there, you don't have access to them. That's it. No, sorry. None. So
bought a PC, kids.
Yeah, no, I just want to get this story out of the way just to be like, yeah, we're covering it. But there's a lot of misconception here. I don't know why this was such a big deal. I mean, I got text messages and emails. Everyone's going, what is this about? I never get that kind of stuff. No one ever contacts me to talk about video games except for like this story. I'm like, holy crap. So OnLive is dead. Goodbye, OnLive.
Long live PlayStation now.
Long live. Oh my God, there we go. That's going to wrap it up for the earth-shattering stories. Do you smell that, Brandon? I smell money. Because we're going to be talking about a brand new segment to the show. We're going to be talking about the money. We're going to be talking about the sales. Every single week now, we're going to be talking about the Uki game charts. We're going to be talking about the Japanese sales charts. And we're going to be talking about the NPDs when available. Every single week. I don't have a name for this.
Video games are money?
Yeah. Here comes the money. Money, money, money. We can't use that theme song. I gotta get a different theme song.
Cha-ching!
Oh, I love that song. Seriously, love that. I miss Shane. Here's what we got to talk about. Over in Japan, we have the top 10 games of the week for Japan for the week of March 23rd to March 29th. Here's what we got. Number 10 was One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. Number 9 was Pro Yokai Spirits 2015. Number 8 was One Piece Pirate Warriors 3.
Wait, wasn't that?
No, you see, the first time was for PlayStation 4. The second time was for Vita. The 7th title was Sword Art Online Lost Song on the PlayStation 3. Shiran Kagura Estera versus Sojo Takai no Sentaku on the Vita. Theater Rhythm Dragon Quest on the 3DS. Number 4 was...
Did you say Theater Rhythm Dragon Quest?
Yes, sir.
Holy fuck, I want to play that game.
I would too.
It just sounds cool.
I like the music on Dragon Quest. Number 4 is Pro Yokai Spirits 2015 on the PlayStation 3, so outselling the Vita and PlayStation 4 version. Number 3, of course, is One Piece Pirate Warriors 3 on the PlayStation 3. Number 2 is Sword Art Online Lost Sword on the Vita. So think about this. We have about 3 titles that dominate the entire sales, but yet number 1 best-selling game of the week is Bloodborne on the PlayStation 4, which, by the way, the PlayStation 4 was the number 1 best-selling system in Japan this week, followed by the PlayStation Vita. All the way in 10th place, Xbox One. 220 units! That's real numbers, kids. Let's move over to the UK for a cup of tea. A cup of tea to talk about what these people spent their euros and pounds on. Bloodborne did not reach first place. In fact, number 10 was The Order, 1886. Follow up next, Minecraft Xbox Edition, followed by Far Cry 4. Number 7 is Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Number 6 is Dying Light. Number 5 is FIFA 15. Number 4 is Grand Theft Auto 5. Number 3 is Borderlands The Handsome Collection, so that's a brand new entry for them. Debuted at number 3. Number 2 is Bloodborne. So what the hell is number 1 in the UK? Battlefield Hardline. They like their Battlefield.
That is interesting.
I keep telling you, man, you got to get in this Battlefield Hardline.
I know, it's just so expensive.
You said it was $30.
Well, I think it was on sale for 30 or 40.
And is that too expensive?
Eh.
Oh, come on. All right, whatever. Moving on.
If only there was somebody that was listening to this podcast that owed me a couple video games. Grant.
Moving on. Yokai Watch has officially surpassed 7 million units in sales, which is actually very impressive. You might be saying, what the hell is Yokai Watch? It's all about ghosts that are menacing with your day-to-day life. It's very popular in Japan, but it is coming to America soon. So this is a smash success over in Japan. Over 7 million copies have been sold. Well, this year...
Was that like that haunting game from Genesis where you had to...
Wow. You mean that green guy?
Yeah, you had to possess things and make people pee their pants.
Yeah, the clock shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
Actually,
I loved that game when I was a kid.
That game is absolute garbage, and the music is horrible, and I love that game. I love that game. That is what childhood does. It makes you stupid.
Yeah, like Mick Kids is one of my favorite Nintendo games.
That game is legitimately great.
It is. It's a fantastic platformer.
I love that game.
And the music is not terrible.
Yeah, it's not. Haunting has horrible music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, awful.
Yeah.
And
but Mick Kids, like, for being a licensed game, licensed by a fast food company, it's way better than it should be.
There's actually... God, I think it's Did You Know Gaming? They also have this top 5 list. They have the top 5 licensed games that were originally original titles, and that was on there. They were explaining how they changed the Kids. Mick Kids was released on the Game Boy over in Europe only. And then when they finally brought that version over to America, they changed the Mick Kids into Cool Spot. From 7-Up. Do they still have the spot on 7-Up?
No.
They got rid of them?
I mean, like, they still have the spot, but there's no character anymore.
You probably got too big for them. It's probably
like
going
the
solo.
Noid.
The Noid? Oh my god.
That's another game.
Yeah. Oh god, that game originally was something else in Japan.
That's the difference is, like, between games back in the day and games now is there used to be all, like, insane amounts of games, and so many of them were these weird licensed character games.
Yeah.
Like, that would never happen now because the budgets are so much higher for games now.
Well, I think...
Like, you could never make a Yo-Noid game now.
No.
It would cost way more money than it would be worth.
But if you reduce the scope, you can make something like Sneak King from, like, Burger King. You can do that.
Yeah.
That's totally possible.
But it doesn't really happen anymore. Like, Sneak King and those games from Burger King, that's a a rarity as opposed to Mick Kids,
Yeah.
Cool Spot, Yonoid.
I have bad news. It happens all the time. It just happens on mobile.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Every time we go on there. What do you say, man? What do you want to do? Games of the week?
Yeah, actually, first I want to talk about Battleborn quick. Just a little extra point on top of what you were talking about.
What
with
about Battleborn?
For those people who are considering getting into Battleborn, I have heard good things, but the only bad thing I've heard is that it's really, really hard. Specifically, somebody that I was talking to online referenced a picture somebody posted on Reddit that said, Battleborn, a game so hard I went outside and raked my lawn.
Oh, I heard about that. You mean
Yeah.
Bloodborne, right?
Yeah, sorry.
I know Battleborn. Don't.
Sorry, they're the same game in my head.
No, because there's Bloodborne, Battleborn, Battle Blood. Wait, no. Then there's the other thing that is being made by 2K right now, or Gearbox, and I
That's
can't remember.
Battleborn, isn't it?
I don't think so. I think there's another name for that exact same title. I don't know. All right, let's move on to the games of the week. Oh my God, what a week we had. First off, I want to start off by talking about MLB. Then you probably want to talk about Triad Wars, which I want to hear a lot about.
Yes.
I have a lot of questions because that is a sort of follow-up to Sleeping Dogs. And then I'm going to wrap it up by talking about Axiom Verge, which is a game that I have a review coming up on Tuesday at Express Milwaukee. And hopefully I'll have a video review up for that too. I'm not really sure where I'm at with that. But let's start it off with MLB The Show. I got to tell you, man, all I'm going to say, I keep saying this to everybody. Do you want to play a baseball game? Yes or no? If you say yes, go buy the show. If you say no, don't buy the show. It's that simple. It is the best baseball game available that's connected to the MLB. I guess some people like that Sluggers game that came out in December. I did some video on it. All-Star Sluggers. I don't know what it was called. But MLB The Show is an awesome, gorgeous, very fun game. You get to be a pitcher, and the pitching feels really good. Like, right when you select your type of pitch, it shows like the percentages, you know, and then once you select the pitch, you can angle the ball to where you want it to go, but only for like a second, and then it disappears, right? It doesn't show you where you're aiming anymore, and so you have to feel around like this invisible thing. And the more you get good at the game, you can just like figure out exactly where that dot is. It's really fun. Pitching is a huge part of the game. It just feels really awesome when you just get, man, when you get somebody out, it just feels so satisfying. And even if, like, you know, they get a foul ball, it's like, ha, I got you, man. You're not going anywhere. But the biggest part about this game is the road to the show. You create an individual player who is in a single position. For me, I chose, closing pitcher. And basically the way it works is that you just play that area. You don't play all the innings. You don't play, you're not going up to the bat unless, your guy does that. You know what I mean? You're not going to be in the outfield unless that's what your guy does. So for me, it was just basically skipping all these stats and numbers that were flying around. And then for about 2 innings, I pitched and I did very well. And I leveled up. And that's about it. And it's really exciting because then you start getting into the draft, and then you're in the minor leagues, and then you get called up to the major leagues. And the way that the audience looks, for the most part, is really good. I showed you that video earlier. Sometimes people just repeat. Like, there were 2 old men that were identical next to each other. I was like,
There were like 3 instances of the 2 old men next to each other, and they were all in the same section.
It's weird, man. I like the fact that they actually have empty seats, though. We're like, well, not a whole lot of people care about this part.
Yeah.
You can play as the Rockhounds if you really want in the minor leagues. Like I said, the graphics are awesome. The audio is perfect. The commentators just nail everything that they should. They when you screw up, they basically will say like, wow, I don't really know what he was thinking. But it's not in that awful way where it's really forced. They don't seem to repeat much. I think they recorded a ton of audio. And it's kind of cool because it feels like a real presentation. Every time a game wraps up, they're like, this has been a presentation of theshow.com. For more information, go to the show. It's like, oh, that's really cool, So all in all, really, really enjoying it. My favorite part, of course, is that you can name your own character and design your own character. And I named my character Joe Random. I didn't write in a name. I forgot to. But I picked the thing that the announcers will call him, which is Boof Big Dog. And they're like, starting up for the Kansas City Royals, Boof Big Dog. It's like, yes, a small victory every single time that happens. If you played last year's game, you can actually take your save and carry it over into the next game. I was talking to a friend of mine, and we both agree that the one aspect that this game is missing is just being able to I don't know, age, like get older and then having to be a better player. Like, oh, my fastball isn't where it used to be, so maybe I need to, learn how to use a curveball better. Stuff like that would be really interesting. But as it stands, best damn baseball game possibly ever, except for MLB Slugfest, because you can actually be set on fire in that game. Oh, and that robot, Base Wars, the robot baseball game where if you caught the ball and you bumped into that guy, you had a fighting game where you were shooting lasers at each other. It is seriously, kids, just type in Base Wars right now and you'll just be like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. So yeah, do you want to play a baseball game? If the answer is yes, go get MLB The Show. Can't recommend it highly enough.
What systems is it on?
PlayStation 4, Vita, and PS3. If you want the really nice graphics, you're going to have to do it on the PS4, though. Although I believe you can cross-save with all of them. So if you play it on your Vita on the way, you can upload your save and then just start right back on the big screen, which isn't bad. So, and it's also like 30 frames a second.
It's crazy that the only licensed baseball game is exclusive to Sony.
Well, it's not. The way it basically works is that 2K has the rights and the only rights to create a console MLB game, but they are not being active on that. However, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo also have the rights if they're willing to pay the license. So they could make. I don't know. I assume they could make an NFL game, but they just don't want to bother. It's kind of like when NFL Fever was a thing on the original Xbox.
It's all about NFL Street.
I love NFL Street. The game is awful.
It's like the successor to Blitz.
Oh, it's bad. I love it. Although I like NBA Street Volume 3 the best because I like to play as the Beastie Boys, y'all. Anyway. Brandon, you've been playing essentially a follow-up or basically a continuation of the universe of Sleeping Dogs called Triad Wars. It's currently in beta from Square Enix. What is this game?
It is an MMO. Of Sleeping Dogs, basically. Like, it's not the same, the story is different. You start out as a gang member that's starting up his own turf, and you have to kind of build up first you pick one of the three gangs. You're either the 18K, the Sun On Yi, or another gang, which I can't remember what they're called.
Those are the three gangs from Sleeping Dogs. Just in case people haven't played Sleeping Dogs, it was Grand Theft Auto with less guns, and it took place in Hong Kong.
Yeah, so you drive on the opposite side of the road.
Yeah.
Unless you want to go fast, then you drive on the wrong side and just avoid cars.
Gotta go
much
fast.
faster.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah. And all of the mechanics in this game are exactly the same as Sleeping Dogs.
So you run out of your apartment, get into a car, drive to a location, start a mission, punch a few people, level up, and go home.
I mean, and like when I say the mechanics are the same, I mean the fighting style, like pressing Y to counter.
The Batman style of combat.
Yeah, exactly the same. You pick up a weapon, you use it a couple times, and then, it goes away.
Hyper-violent animations.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yep.
I love sticking people's heads into walls and fans in the first one.
Put somebody's head into a table saw.
Last
night.
That's actually above
like
and
the
beyond.
Punisher.
Yeah, on the Xbox. No, that's because in the original game you were playing as an undercover cop, and he certainly did violent things.
Now you're playing as an actual gangster.
Yeah.
So
that sounds horrific.
You get one of the first missions, you get a weapon. I mean, I would assume it's the same weapon, but it might be a different melee weapon.
Yeah.
I got a meat cleaver and just hacked people to shit with it.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So basically what you do is, and the driving mechanics are the same. The graphics, like the city looks exactly the same as it did in Sleeping Dogs. The
Which
music
looks very
is
good on the
PC.
Same.
Yeah. It looks gorgeous.
Right.
So basically what you do is you have to build up your business and your empire while going and taking out other people.
Are other real players or just AI?
I think it's the bases. So the way I think I've only played it like 3 or 4 hours so far, but the sense I'm getting is that as your player, you build up your base and your rackets and stuff like that. And then in order to move up, you have to go attack other people, but you're not actually fighting those people 1-to-1 live.
Right.
You're fighting an AI run version of the base that they built.
So like the Drivatar of fighting games,
like that.
where it's taking all the positives and negatives, like this guy is not very good at blocking, or this guy doesn't know how to capitalize on a counterattack. And it's
and when you level up, you select new, like what you want to upgrade for yourself, but then you get 1 or 2 points for each level up, and you have to use it either to upgrade your own character, like his fighting, driving ability, stuff like that. But you also have to use points to upgrade your gang members that protect your base when somebody else tries to attack you.
Oh my God. I got to ask you, though. You said this is an MMO of sorts?
Yes.
I mean, are you seeing other people online driving around?
I don't think that's there yet.
Okay.
So I think the beta is mostly just
It's a real beta then, huh?
Yeah, I think the beta is just to kind of test out the mechanics and see what works and what doesn't work, and then they're going to add the persistent world.
Sleeping Dogs is one of my favorite games.
Ever. I would say ever. Based on the hype you lay on it.
Yeah, I guess I'll say ever. I don't want to make it sound like it's one of the greatest games ever. It's one of my favorite games ever. There's like a pretty big difference. Like there's just something really spellbinding about going around Hong Kong in the rain and just looking at the environments. I used to just walk around on the Steam version, try and get off the motorcycle enough times where my motorcycle helmet would stay on and try to look like Daft Punk, and then walk around and take selfies with random strangers, just like hitting F11 when I was standing next to somebody that was like smoking a cigarette and just looking at me really confused. And it's very special. I like to tell people...
It has a really good sense of place.
A very good sense of place and an excellent soundtrack. One of my favorite soundtracks. I can't say enough good things about that. It's like, what is it, $5 on PC, on Steam?
Yeah.
I will say that the definitive edition... I heard mixed things. Back when Brian was on the show, he was not very happy about that release. I played a little bit of it, and I think it's improved with some of the frame rate issues. All in all,
great on PC.
Yeah. I think it's. The first time I played through it was on PC, and pick your controller, just plug it in through USB.
Yep.
Are you using
the beta is controller happy?
What controller are you using for this?
360.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I was using the mouse and keyboard at first, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a bitch to fight like this.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's see. So I picked up my controller and I hit a button and the options changed to to exit the menu, hit B. And I was like, yes, I can use a controller. I love this game.
This is pretty quiet, though. I mean, we don't hear a lot about Triad Wars.
Well, I mean, I saw a thing on Facebook. I think I liked PC Gamer.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't like some of their articles sometimes, every once in a while they're like, hey, we're giving out 10,000 beta keys.
PC Gamers.
So I signed up and got one, and then Square Enix said, hey, thanks for actually signing into the beta. Here's 5 more beta keys.
Holy crap.
To give to your friends.
I might have to get one of those keys. I'm so busy, I have no time, but I will make time for a Sleeping Dogs related project because holy crap, Sleeping Dogs.
Yeah, talk about danger of addiction, a Sleeping Dogs MMO.
That is so risky. Hey, it's almost like that,
Sleeping Dogs forever.
It's almost like that Shenmue MMO that was supposed to come out in Korea and then never happened. Honestly, if you're a fan of Shenmue, I do recommend that you check out Sleeping Dogs. It's not at all the same game whatsoever, but the idea of going to China and exploring all these environments and going on dates. I remember I was going on some dates with some girl, and then I went on some dates with some other girl, and I just got a phone call from the other girl. She's like, she went on a date with me, and then halfway through was like, I know you're cheating on me, and then ran away. I was like, whoa! Like, I did not see that coming.
Yeah, when I was playing the game, I was dating this one girl, and then it was like, oh, here's a mission to go and date this girl. I was like, but I like the other girl. Can I go talk to her? And it's like, no, that's not an option anymore. It's like, okay, bye then.
Was it the hacker girl?
Yeah, it was not Ping.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And then they wanted you to start talking to the girl that works in the club. And it's like, I don't want to talk to her. She's kind of dippy.
Yeah.
Like, I want to talk to the cool chick that's not really into me.
God. And collecting all those statues throughout the game. Seriously, kids, go play Sleeping Dogs. Well, maybe one of these days we'll do an episode.
Hopefully Triad Wars takes off so they make Sleeping Dogs too.
We can do an episode on Sleeping Dogs one of these days, like a little one-off thing. We're going to talk about Sleeping Dogs because I feel like I could go through that whole game. Okay, so the last game of the week on the PlayStation 4 is this independent game called Axiom Verge. I just showed you a little bit of that video.
Looks really cool.
It's Metroid. It basically is, when you start it up, you go, wow, that looks like Metroid. This area looks just like Metroid. There's just small variations. It looks like 8-bit Metroid, and even the music sounds like it's from an NES. However, as the game goes on, it starts to evolve and change and broaden out, and basically it almost uses the Metroid template to almost give you a sense of security and then challenge it from there, which is really exciting because they give you this ability to transcode enemies or environments. And what that does is it takes these enemies and turns them into something altogether different. There's these scorpion-looking guys that shoot these wave guns, essentially. They shoot 3 bullets at once. They go in varying directions, up, down, and middle, right? If you use the wave gun on them, they just start flashing and they shoot these tiny little bullets that are really, really slow. It's like, what the heck? I just nerfed it. Like, I killed what made this enemy powerful, you know? It's like there's these fish things that are flying up and shooting lasers at you. And if you shoot them with a transcoder gun, they become floating platforms. And at no point is this ever explicitly changed what you're, or at no point is it explicitly said what you're supposed to do or not do. There's so many moments where I thought I was going to the next environment and I found a weapon that most other people don't have. Or I would actually find an optional boss. I think I only found one optional boss, but it blew me away. I mean, I beat this game just today, and it's just so incredible to explore all these environments. The music just begins to get a lot more variety in it. The weapons are so different and so unique. Instead of a spread gun, you basically are shooting lightning, but it actually looks like lightning. Like, it looks like all the connected, you know, like a tree branch with all the roots coming out. It looks like that really fast. It just goes, and it's randomized. You never know where it's going to go. Of course, you got like a standard gun. You get abilities like teleportation and just being able to shoot these bombs that decode everything. The bosses are horrific and disturbing. It basically takes Metroid and makes it so much darker. But what's crazy about it is that there's no double jump. It's one of those games where you just expect there to eventually be a double jump, and there's no double jump, and that breaks my heart. So the game is not good. No, I'm kidding. The game is fine.
0 out of 10, no double jump.
-5 stars. It's really good. The only thing I'm gonna, and you're gonna read about in my review, is that you can get lost very easily, and because the notions and abilities get to a level of abstraction that you can no longer apply your knowledge as freely as you could in maybe other Metroidvania games, you end up going in circles a lot. Backtracking is a necessary part of all Metroidvanias. However, there's just a point where it's like, well, can I use my encoding gun level 2 to open up this door? No. Oh, now I got the bomb 2 hours later. I guess now I can do that. You know, you end up going back to the exact same environments. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now I can use my drone. By the way, you have these drones, these little things that they look like little crabs. You know, basically, instead of having your morph ball, you just shoot a crab that runs around for you and collects things and brings them back. It's really neat. But you do get lost a lot, and that really hurts the game. It really does. I know a lot of people will say, hey, we don't want an easy game. You know, challenging and difficult are very different things. And there are points in this game where finding out where to go can be difficult, not challenging. So, I don't know. If you have the slightest interest in playing an 8-bit style Metroidvania with a wholly original take on in terms of story, I don't even want to talk about the story because it's very, very different, but it does challenge you. I would say definitely check out Axiom Verge. It's like $20 or something, $17 on PSN. And I believe it came out on Steam, or it's shortly coming out on Steam, and I believe it's coming out on Vita, or it already did. I highly recommend it. So, that's going to do it for the games of the week. Unless you got anything left, Brendan.
No.
Okay. Well, then we had better get this fun factory on the road. The fun factory. Beep, beep. Ha. I don't know where I'm going with this. Save me.
I want to get out of this
train. Okay. This off the rails of this crazy train?
Yes.
Well, then let's go right over to the pressure points. Guess what, music fans? Spotify officially launched on the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, enabling over 30 million songs to be played over your gameplay. I definitely, during certain points when I was playing Axiom Verge, was like, okay, I really can't handle the same song for, 2 hours while I can't find that single door, that single pixel that I have to hit. So I was just like, all right, I'll listen to Chumbawamba.
Well, FYI, if you're using Spotify, recently the WWE released all of the songs, all of the theme songs ever onto Spotify.
Do they have the WCW themes, like the really awful Goldberg theme, where they pipe in Goldberg's chants?
It's possible.
I could listen to that.
They own all that now.
Oh, man.
Imagine listening to the Goldberg theme on repeat while playing Axiom Verge.
That sounds like heaven to me. Batman Arkham Knight is actually getting its own special edition PlayStation 4. This will include a copy of the game, as well as a gray PlayStation 4 with this basically silhouette of Batman, which looks pretty cool.
It's okay. As far as exclusive, like, specifically designed systems go, it's kind of lazy.
Yeah, I could definitely prefer to see maybe the cover of the game on the faceplate would be kind of cool or something like that. But you also get a silver gray controller.
Or, like, have the PS4 and the controller designed, like, to look like Batman's suit.
Oh, God. I'm already starting to get a little queasy. I'm just thinking about those awful, like, PlayStation 2 era controllers where it's like, it's a Batman controller, so it's shaped like a Batarang, or it's the Resident Evil 4 controller, so it's literally a chainsaw.
I feel like it would be better if it was like a Joker-themed console, and it was like all purple and green.
Well, we have to wait and see.
And like had blood spattered on it. That'd be pretty badass.
Yeah, we don't know if the Joker's going to be in this game, so, we have to wait and see.
But I mean, I'm saying, like, that would be a better idea for theming a console than, like, make it gray and put a Batman sticker on it.
Batman fans want the Penguin on their PlayStation 4. You clearly know nothing,
if it's
sir.
Arkham City Penguin, fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, who is that?
He was badass in Arkham City.
God, I forget who voiced him.
He had a broken bottle in his eye as his monocle.
Oi,
so badass.
I'm British for some reason now. I'm Cockney. By the way, Batman Arkham Knight is going to be 1080p on the PlayStation 4. Rocksteady cannot confirm to what the resolution is going to be on the Xbox One yet. Bum, bum, bum. Also, you're going to have a lot of exclusive content on Arkham Knight for the PlayStation 4. However, Rocksteady has also said that bonus content will be exclusive until at least fall 2015. So I think a lot of this stuff is going to start to make its way onto other platforms, such as PC as well as Xbox One. That's kind of exciting. Honestly, I can't wait for Arkham Knight. That's coming out this June.
I may actually buy that at full price on PC.
I would highly recommend it. Just because I want to support them.
Those games are so good.
All two of them have been good so far. So, moving on.
Wait, wasn't there a third one?
Yeah, Arkham Knight.
I mean, like, I don't even think it's just specifically the Batman games. I just think Rocksteady's a really, really good developer.
Yeah, I made that Firefighter game like 10 years ago. So they've been doing a lot.
But I mean, like, now that, like, what happens once they're done with Batman?
Superman.
If they could make a good Superman game, which seems impossible. Like, Superman, I don't feel like Superman works in video games.
Lobo or GTFO.
Because it's like, if you're Superman and you punch an enemy, it's like, well, he's dead. Like, that's all there is to it.
Well, what about Superman 64, where Lex Luthor put Superman into a simulation?
Literally the worst game. Literally.
I don't know. I've played some worse than Superman.
I think Superman is the only video game that I've ever played. And after, like, 20 minutes, I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Hey, trust me, turn on the cheat codes. That game is not bad. It can be kind of fun. Hear me out. We'll talk after the show. Hey, Bloodborne officially got a patch that removed that game-breaking bug. Of course, the bug happened if you somehow entered into another player's game using the resonance bell before the Forbidden Woods. Sorry, too much nerd. Apparently, you wouldn't be able to fight the next area's boss if you used those particular items to meet up with other players. If you did that before you entered a certain environment, which is insane. But the patch has fixed all of that. But that didn't stop one user from beating Bloodborne in 44 freaking minutes.
Wow.
I know. That is insane.
Using an exploit, I assume?
Oh, I used a couple of exploits, including the item duplication. Some people actually have taken up to 70 to 80 hours just to beat the game. So, kind of impressive. Drive Club, remember them? Remember Evolution Studios? They made
talk
Drive
about
Club?
A story that's hard to get positive about.
Oh, come on. Here's what's kind of cool. Do you remember that game that they made, MotorStorm, back on the PlayStation 3? Well,
I do remember that.
I do remember that. I never forget. MotorStorm actually had these buggies, right? Well, they took the buggy and they put it in Drive Club. That's right. They basically called it the Wombat Typhoon buggy, which I think is pretty cool. Over in Japan, Dragon Quest Heroes 2 has been officially announced for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and Vita. I think we're actually getting part 1 on the PlayStation 4.
Is that just another Dragon Quest game, or is it like a different type of game?
It's a different type of game, and if I'm not mistaken, it's actually developed by the guys that do Dynasty Warriors, that Omega Force.
Like a Dragon Quest action game?
I would compare it somewhere along the lines of like Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, which I'm sure you will not be happy to hear, but I'm going to say it.
Sure.
Okay.
I know what that game is, and I have an opinion on it.
Hooray! H1Z1 officially had its brand new patch. Of course, the name of the patch was the Big Damn Patch. Apparently, it increased a lot of stability. It added weapons. It increased the zombie population. Lots of sensible choices on their part.
So wait, is that the zombie online game?
By
the
Sony.
Only one?
Well, it's not by
Sony.
Sony.
Zombie online game?
Absolutely. It's the only one that it was helped being funded by Sony and being made by Daybreak Games. I promise.
Wait, isn't Daybreak the old Sony Online Entertainment?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay.
They also made PlantSide and I don't know.
DCU Online.
Oh, okay. Even I'm having difficulty being positive on that one. Let's talk about the PlayStation Plus free games of April. If you've got yourself a PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3, you can play Aura's Awakening. Ooh. And you can also play Tower of Guns. Ah. On the PlayStation 4, you can play Never Alone, which is actually a very, very cool game. That was the one that takes place in Antarctica. So definitely
I think I almost bought that.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
On PC.
On PlayStation 3, they have Dishonored, one of the best games of 2014.
It was, I don't know if I'd say best. It was pretty good.
Well, best reviewed.
But,
I didn't.
yeah.
It wasn't one of my favorite games of the year, but I thought it had a lot of interesting ideas.
Yeah, I mean, for a game where you play as like a stealthy assassin kind of guy, they sure do penalize you for actually killing people, which is the easiest way to beat the game.
No, I like the teleportation or blink ability. I thought that was really cool, but
yeah,
it too was too limited for me.
But I mean, like when you're going through the game and it's like, I could beat this level in an hour, or I could beat it in 5 hours and not kill anybody.
Wow.
And it's like, you know what? No. Just no, man.
Well, you want some yes with that no? Because Killzone Mercenary and Monster Bag are coming to the Vita. Killzone Mercenary is one of the best damn looking Vita games. Seriously. Like, look that up.
I really do want to get a Vita.
You should get a Vita. Get a Vita.
I just wish that I could get a Vita, sign up for PlayStation Plus, and get all these cool games that I missed.
Why don't you just pause the podcast and we go to Toys R Us right now, and I will film you buying a Vita.
And then give me all the PlayStation Plus games that I missed?
No. You really shouldn't worry about that.
That's the problem, is that coming in now, there are all these games that were free that now if I want to play them, I got to pay for.
But if you don't jump in now, there's all these games that are free that you're going to miss.
Yeah.
You know?
I guess.
Dude, Vita games are very, very cheap. Once you start playing Vita games, you're going to be like, yeah, I want to buy more. And you will be totally okay with like dropping $5 to play a game. There's sales all the time.
Well, maybe next week you bring your Vita in and I'll try it out and then make a decision on whether or not I want to buy one.
We're going to be at Midwest Classic Gaming Expo next week.
I guess I'll just play one there.
There you go. Well, of course, some people say you can't go home. And it's never been more true than this week when PlayStation Home officially shut down after 7 years. I didn't want to say awful years, but man,
I feel like somebody is probably upset about this.
Oh, lots of people are.
Don't know why.
Basically, PlayStation Home, in case you don't know, was this kind of like Second Life game where people just like danced in lobbies and sat around and watched movie trailers and went bowling. I played it for maybe all of 3 hours and just was like,
oh, God, I don't think I even made it through an hour before I was like, what is the point of this?
Imagine Star Wars Galaxies, but worse. That game was, I mean, you know, I'm not one of those people that says it's not even a game, but if you're looking for goals or purpose or rewards, the rewards were just, you had to spend money. It's like, oh, I've got posters on my apartment wall.
Yeah, it's like PlayStation Home for when real life isn't depressing enough.
Seriously, bro. I mean, Second Life, at least, I will say it's better than Second Life because you don't have people that just, you know, have sex out there. Moving on. There was...
Furries are people too, Colin.
That is very true. There was actually a brand new trailer for Halo 5 last week, right as soon as we got done recording the show, and it announced the release date of October 27th. So it's official. That is when Halo 5 is coming. Bonnie Ross, the Halo boss, if you will, has a lot to say about the scope and size of Halo 5. Here's what she had to say. We wanted Halo 5 Guardians to be the game that pays off the epic promise of the Halo universe in scope and scale and drama. We want to amaze players with the sheer size of the worlds and battles they'll experience, even as they question everything they thought they knew about its heroes, marvels, and mysteries. Do you think people are actually going to be that excited about Halo 5? I mean, I'm excited to play the game, but I don't know if other people, if Halo is still on the radar, if that's still a big deal. You know, I hate to say that.
I feel like Master Chief Collection really hurt their brand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, a lot of people are just... I mean, I don't know if I want to say a lot of people, but there are definitely people out there that because of the Master Chief Collection, they probably won't buy Halo 5.
I would say the majority of people that bought Master Chief Collection were disappointed. I think that is impossible.
I'd say that's safe to say that, but I'm saying a lot of those people, that'll probably affect their decision whether or not they're even going to buy Halo 5.
I mean, if you're a real diehard fan and you want that collector's edition where you get a stupid helmet that says John 117 or whatever the hell it is, I'm sure you're going to go and pre-order that game. However, for everyone else, I don't know. I don't buy into it. I think if you're just more of a casual fan that just wanted to play a good shooter, I don't know. I mean, Halo 5 looks excellent. It really does, graphically, and the stuff that they've been doing to modernize the Halo series is very enticing, but we have to wait and see when it actually push comes to shove. Not push comes to... This is a reference for nothing. When the game actually releases, if it can actually handle all that traffic. Because Halo Master Chief Collection, it flat out did not. And it did not for weeks. And in some cases, it's still not. But that's why we have updates, because the April Halo Master Chief's Collection update will actually feature a number of options. Here's what they had to say over at 343 Studios, the people that are also developing Halo 5 at the exact same time. That's promising. Based on results and feedback, we've been looking to update team size and player counts across existing and upcoming playlists, including team doubles, as we get closer to the next update. Lastly, SWAT and Team Snipers will both make a return in rotation in the near future, and we will continue to evaluate playlist data to determine which playlists become permanent additions. I think that's excellent. However, I do kind of worry if you're developing a brand new game and you're still working on this mammoth updates and expansions on the previous game, it sounds like they're going to be stretched a little thin, right?
I mean, theoretically.
Speaking of theories,
they're not exactly like 343 is a decent sized studio, but it's not like they're Activision Blizzard or anything.
Oh no.
So if they're trying to fix Master Chief Collection, like if they're dedicating all of their resources to that, then who's making Halo 5? Is it the guy that delivers the bagels?
Yeah.
Because that's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, personally...
He never gets an everything bagel. That's all I want is everything.
Personally, I don't think I'm going to buy Halo 5.
No.
Mostly because I don't own an Xbox One, and I have absolutely no intention of buying one, and Microsoft has made it very clear that even though they make and own Windows, they have no intention of actually releasing Xbox games onto Windows.
Well, they're going to allow you to stream your Xbox One games over there, but that's not really the same thing.
Not even a little.
So, did you know about Quantum Break, right? That's that Remedy game that's coming out? It's all about time bending and time travel. Well, apparently they're bending time again because they've delayed the game to 2016.
All right, it's going to come out when GTA 5 comes out on PC.
Yeah. According to Shannon Loftus, she's the head of publishing over at Microsoft, with so many incredible games launching this year, moving Quantum Break to 2016 extends our incredible portfolio into next year with a new monster IP. According to Remedy's creative director Sam Lake, we thank our fans for their patience, and we want them to know the team is taking advantage of this opportunity to polish and fine-tune the game to create the kind of standout entertainment experience they've come to expect from us. Sam Lake, of course, was also the face of Max Payne in the original Max Payne. I don't know if you've...
I think this game is going to be disappointing when it comes out.
Well, I mean, you liked Alan Wake, right?
It was pretty good.
Pretty good?
But the delays... I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely gorgeous.
There are only certain studios that can get away with delaying a game and not cause worry.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this studio has enough clout to kind of get away. Like, if Nintendo delays a game, it's not like, oh, that game's probably garbage. It's probably like, oh, that game's probably not working quite right, so they're going to take more time to work on it. Whereas with this, it kind of seems like, oh, well, there's a lot of games that are going to be really good coming out, so we're going to push this and, air quotes, work on it longer.
Right.
So that way when it comes out, maybe the market isn't as busy, so then people will just buy it.
I think that's a smart move financially for Microsoft because, they put out so many titles at once over the fall where it's like, hey, here's Sunset Overdrive, here's Master Chief, here's, Forza. I mean, it was a bit busy, and I could see them wanting to not do that again this year and give some space for Quantum Break. But I don't know what kind of money Quantum Break is going to bring into this. I don't think Quantum Break is going to sell systems. I don't think Quantum Break is going to get a large fan base. I mean, and it's not a knock against the game, but Remedy, outside of Max Payne, has yet to create a title that people really identify with on a mass scale. All right? I'm not talking about their game quality. I'm saying a mass scale where people want to have a whole convention around and be like, yeah. That's unfortunate. You know?
Max Payne convention.
Oh, my God.
I would totally go to that.
Yeah, I would absolutely go to that too. You know, although it'd take forever to get in because everyone's doing their stupid slow-mo running.
Everybody's in bullet time.
By the way, if you were hoping that the next Gears of War was coming to Xbox 360, I have news for you. It's absolutely not. According to Jack...
That'll push systems.
That I think will. Jack Felling from Black Tusks, the developer of the upcoming Gears of War game that is yet to be named, he had a conversation with somebody on Twitter. All they said is, "Hey Jack, the new Gears of War will be for Xbox 360?" ? That's not actually a question. No,
it's just a statement that you put a question mark at the end of.
Yeah. Well, Jack Felling did respond on Twitter. He said, "No, sorry, it won't be available on the 360, but it will be available on the Xbox One." Well, duh, Jack. But I mean, I think that's awesome that they're just like cutting the umbilical cord and saying, "No, we need to focus on Xbox One."
Needs to happen eventually.
Mm-hmm. And they've been pretty good about it because, you know, Sunset Overdrive was an exclusive. Master Chief Collection was an exclusive, even though, yeah, it was just a compilation of older titles. And, you know, Quantum Break is an exclusive. Crackdown, they've been very good about this. So that just furthers the idea. Fable Legends, of course, you have to remember, is also coming out this year. A lot of people are worried because now it's free to play. But according to...
Free-to-play games very rarely are worth playing.
Yeah, like that Team
Unless
Fortress
you're
2.
willing to...
I've only spent like 800 hours in that stupid game.
I like Team Fortress 2, but still...
You like Team Fortress also? Well, I prefer Team Fortress 2.
Nice.
Yeah, you see that?
I like Team Fortress 2, but I don't know.
Well,
I feel like there's a pretty steep curve to get into Team Fortress 2 because you're usually playing against people who have been playing for years and years and years and have...
Without sleep.
And have gotten all the... you know, crate drops, and they have the better weapons and everything, and...
It's balanced, though. Well, let's find out if Fable Legends is a good idea, because we have the game director, David Eckelberry. Here's what he had to say about free-to-play. It's a model that is a weapon in some sense. So a weapon can be used for good, and a weapon can be used for evil. We wanted to be sure that the world knew that we weren't doing this for reasons of a business model. Nobody came to Lionhead Studios and said, "We want you to make a free-to-play game." They said, "Make a new Fable game." And we said, "Okay, let's experiment. Let's be innovative." According to him, Microsoft is much more interested in making a happy community of players and making the Xbox and Windows 10 a fun place to play. It doesn't need us to be evil. Which is true. I mean, this will be coming to Windows 10 and Xbox One at some point. I'm pretty excited for it just because I was a fan of, I guess, all the Fable games, even Fable 3. I know a lot of people didn't like Fable 3. I can't help it.
I liked the first half of Fable 3. I thought it was really good.
I wish Fable 2 was out on PC because that's the game you want to play. Fable 2 is outrageously good.
I like Fable 2 as well.
Oh.
I think I probably would have enjoyed the second half of Fable 3 even less if I didn't use a gold duplicating exploit to be able to give everybody what they wanted.
You monster. You magical monster. Hey, what about No Man's Sky? Is that coming to Xbox One? Nope. But that doesn't mean that Microsoft doesn't want it to be on there. The Xbox director, Chris Carla, he said, "I would love to see No Man's Sky on the Xbox One, but that it was up to the gamers. Hello Games." I swear to God, people are writing at like a 4th grade level sometimes. Jesus, just say exactly what he said. Here's what he said. "If you're worried about policies, we try to really be easy to get in touch with. When we talk to developers, we try to be really transparent. Don't assume something you read on NeoGAF is our policy. Just talk to us." Sick NeoGAF burn. Damn, Chris Carla. I mean, No Man's Sky, probably one of the most promising games, and currently it is a PlayStation 4 exclusive with a hopeful PC release. I mean, some people are more excited about this than Star Citizen, which is saying a lot. Do you think that it will eventually come to Xbox One?
Probably not. And it won't come to PC either.
Well, it will come to PC. They've said it will. Eventually, though.
Oh,
Okay. So it's a timed exclusivity, but we have no idea what the time frame is. So it might be a year after it releases. We don't know when it's even coming out. You know what I mean? So this is all talking about in the future. What do you expect to see Microsoft do with this E3?
Wow.
I know.
No pressure whatsoever.
We're stopping the car. You're getting out and buying me drugs.
Is Gears actually in active development?
Yeah.
Probably a Gears trailer.
Well, some people are worried. I know this is all for a segue. Some
Nice.
people are worried that
Thanks.
it's all going to be about virtual reality and AR. Well, Phil Spencer responded to somebody on Twitter and said, our E3 will not be about VR and AR, I promise.
You are the JBL of podcasters.
Ding,
You're
ding,
just
ding, ding,
fucking
ding, ding,
burying
ding, ding.
me.
Oh, man, I love JBL. He's so good. Except when he talks. Xbox One...
I know the feeling.
Oh, okay. Xbox One doesn't have Super Meat Boy yet, but according to Phil Spencer, they'd like to. Here's an actual tweet from him. I need another game to rack up 1,000 deaths. SMB on Xbox One would be great. Super Mash Brothers? I don't know.
Man, the guy that made Super Meat Boy is just loving life.
Well,
I mean, he made that game how long ago?
Well, one of the guys that made that also worked on Binding of Isaac, which officially will be coming to Xbox One, and new 3DS, uncensored, which is very exciting. That's also going to be coming.
But I
in
mean,
the
Super
future.
Meat Boy's been out for a while,
It's a great game.
and it just keeps getting released on new things.
Are you a big Super Meat Boy fan?
It's cool. It's hard as fuck. I mean, like, it is also one of those so hard I went out and raked my lawn kind of games. Like, so help me God, if I hit this saw blade one more time, I'm going to put this controller through the TV.
It's true. That game is frustrating.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. It's challenging.
Yeah, it's just like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and all those. It's about learning patterns.
Yeah. Super Mario Brothers 2.
Super Mario Brothers 2 isn't hard.
Play the Japanese version. Moving on. Sunset Overdrive, one of the games that came out exclusively on the Xbox One.
I really
last
wish
fall.
that would come to PC. I
Well,
want to play it.
It's a little cheaper now if you want to buy an Xbox One with it because it is now only $40. That's it, $40.
It's like $35 more than I want to pay for it.
It is a permanent price drop. And by the way, if you own an Xbox One or an Xbox 360, here are the games for April. They are available right now. On the Xbox One, you have Pool Nation FX as well as Child of Light. Child of Light is super freaking good. So
What about Pool Nation FX?
it's pretty good. It's no Unicycles FX or Stunt Race FX, but it's pretty good.
What about Pinball FX2?
Oh, man. That is a good one. Man. On the Xbox 360, through April 1st to the 15th, you have Gears of War Judgment and Terraria. Starting on April 16th to the 31st, you can have Army of Two, The Devil's Cartel. Say what you will about that. I believe they shut down a studio after that was released. As well as Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. Really good Assassin's Creed game. I highly recommend everyone check it out. Now, let's take a look at the past. It was reported that Microsoft almost gave away the original Xbox for free. This is according to noted conspiracy theorist Laura Lanning, the creator of Oddworld. Yes, for real. Do not ask him about 9/11. Jesus Christ. I'm dead serious. Just look up some videos. Here's what he had to say. At the time, Xbox thought that the core market was going to be casual. They were going to be the casual games machine. Now, that's why they approached us, because they said, we think you've got something that competes in that Mario space, and we think Mario's the thing to kill. We see that space. We want that audience. We love Oddworld, so why don't you get on the bandwagon? And we might give the box away. So now you're like, look, if you're going to be giving that box away, you're going to win. If you're going to win, we want on board. That's insane. They almost just gave away Xboxes when that launched. I mean,
I would have gotten one like a year and a half earlier then.
Yeah. I mean, that's insane. I
wouldn't have had to go to my friend's house that I wasn't really that fond of so I could play Knights of the Old Republic on his Xbox.
to touch his Duke controller.
It's like, hey, you want to hang out? Yeah, can we play Knights of the Old Republic? Yeah.
And now you can play that on your phone. Times have really changed. As did Rare. The Rare games, of course, were originally on Nintendo and have now moved over to Microsoft Studios. But that doesn't mean Phil Spencer doesn't want them to have some connection with Nintendo. Phil Spencer has actually said he would like to see Banjo-Kazooie join Super Smash Bros. According to Spencer, I think it would be cool if Banjo was in the next Super Smash Bros. DLC. We worked with Nintendo on rare IP before. No issues. That's kind of exciting, man.
Would he be all jaggy and like...
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Like, would they up-res the visuals for Banjo, or would he still be like Nintendo 64?
I assume he'll probably look somewhere in line with Nuts and Bolts, which, you know, say what you will. I thought that was a pretty unique take on the design. I didn't mind it. I mean, it was definitely an up-res of some sort, but not all up-reses are created equal, as we found out last week when Nintendo influenced Super Mario 64 HD browser project was unleashed on the internet, and everyone went, wow, look how cool this is. Well, Nintendo said, wow, we're shutting it down. And it has been shut down. This is very sad. This, of course, was actually made by Eric Ross, a former developer, former engineer at Microsoft Game Studios. Here's what he had to say. All the art and animations were done by myself with the exception of Mario, Goomba, and Power Star meshes, which are ripped without animations from Super Mario Galaxy. A large portion of the sounds are from existing Mario games, while the other ones I found and edited myself from freesound.org.
Were they selling it?
No, he was just like, here, play for free. Now, keep in mind, it was taken down, I think, literally a day before they announced that Super Mario 64 was coming to the Wii U. That's gotta hurt.
Also, just as a note to the listeners, as much as it may sound like it, these segues that he's pulling out are not planned. He's actually just doing that off the top of his head. It drives me nuts every week.
Sorry.
Yeah, make a segue out of that, bastard.
Well, hopefully Nintendo can make a lot of money with DNA. Well, according to DNA, they might be able to make $25 million per month. You like that segue?
Every time.
Every single time. Well, time adds up to a month, and time is money, so hopefully they'll get $25 million for their month. Here's what DNA's chief exclusive, Iso Moriyasu, I don't know how to say his name. Here's what he had to say. We want to create games that will be played by hundreds of millions of people. We want to create multiple hit games rather than aiming to succeed with just one powerful IP element. We haven't talked to Nintendo about targets, but at DNA, our best-selling game brought in 3 billion yen a month, and we want to surpass that. That
was that like $5 American?
Yeah, it's about
3 billion yen.
It's about number 7 at McDonald's. About number 7. It's actually about $25 million. Very exciting amount of revenue that could be coming to Nintendo's way if they do this right. DNA, of course, is also working on a different title, which we're going to talk about later in the show.
I'm so excited.
By the way, Monster Hunter 4 has added some DLC that will allow you to play in Mario or Sonic skins. Why Sonic skins? What does he have to do with Nintendo?
I don't know, but I think I'm just going to have to buy this game online. I keep not seeing it when I go out to buy it, so...
I mean, can you just go on Amazon and buy a box copy or something?
Well, that's what I meant.
Okay.
Like, just buy it off Amazon or something.
Still buy it on the eShop.
Oh, God, no.
No.
What am I, some kind of savage?
Well, you could actually already create these items before. This upgrade just allows people to make it a lot easier to craft these items, as well as 14 new quests, 2 new weapons, and 3 complete armor sets. A lot of stuff, including your Palico has a lot of extra stuff. Do you know what a Palico is?
No.
Oh my god, they're cats that fight with you and go meow meow while they're stabbing monsters.
So it's like a calico cat that's your pal?
Yeah, you can make it whatever color you want. And I actually named it after my cat, and so me and my cat fight monsters together, and I am so happy. My cat will live forever.
I definitely did that in Dragon Age with the dog. He was named after my dog. He was badass.
You get a connection. You get a real strong connection to those things.
He looked nothing like my dog, but...
You gonna name the cat after you're gonna name your Palico after your dog?
I'll name it after the little dog that I have.
Okay.
She's kind of like a cat.
That's a cat. We've talked about this.
Any dog under 15 pounds is a cat, and cats are pointless.
All right.
Ron Swanson.
Is that really what that's from? I thought you made that up.
No.
Okay. Moving on. Zombie U was a game that was on the Wii U. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not what we're segueing into. We're segueing into that they actually canceled Zombie U2. According to Unseen64, they were going to have some brand new weapons for this brand new version, and it was going to have multiplayer where one player played on the gamepad, and the other one played on the TV with a Pro controller.
Why can't you do that on Mario Kart?
Or any game.
But I mean, like, if you're playing with 4 people on Mario Kart.
Yeah.
If one person has the gamepad, why can't they just have just their screen on the gamepad?
I think you can.
No, you can't.
Really?
It shows the split screen.
I have never played the Wii U with anyone. I'm not even kidding you. It's always just me.
Well, I mean, like, there's a bar.
There's always a half-lit candle and a half-eaten meal next to a pile of tears.
There's a bar in downtown Milwaukee called 42 Lounge.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
The video game and geek bar. And they have a Wii U.
I thought it was something different. I showed up my GIMP outfit, and they're like, what?
They have a Wii U hooked up to the projector at their bar, and you can, like, just grab a controller and hop in and play Mario Kart.
I don't like projectors.
While you get drunk.
Projectors are always just telling me how to feel, man. Moving on, we have Ubisoft is going to tell you how to feel with Valiant Hearts, and you can feel it for free with the very first episode on iOS. Now, the rest of the parts of the game, they're going to be $4 each, or $9 for the rest of the bundle. So if you want to try out Valiant Hearts, you can try it out for free on iOS right now, and I highly recommend it. One of the best games of last year.
Did you just set yourself up for a segue?
This is what I do, man. Look, you got to hacky sack it sometimes, bro. You can't volley it every time.
I have heard really good things about Valiant Hearts, though. I have not played it yet, but I've heard really good things.
I think the narrative elements are fantastic. I think the gameplay elements are overrated. I think they do make some significant. It's not about like
like Gone Home.
Yeah, where they actually make it. They actually have hindrances.
Like the story is really good, but the gameplay doesn't really do much.
I'm okay if the gameplay doesn't do much. And in Gone Home's case, Go Home. That's it. Grow Home. There's a game called Grow Home. Oh my god, which is also made by Ubisoft. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
In the case of Gone Home, my issue is that everything was fine until I got stuck. In Valiant Hearts, it's the exact same thing. You should just let me skip that part. I don't care. Just let me press a button and have the little AI take control and get that part done. I don't care.
That's always the worst part in like point and click games.
Oh.
Where like you get to a part where it's like, okay, what do I do now? And then it completely removes you from the story.
I don't think I should do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
How about you shut up, Lee? Just do what I tell you, or I'm going to let a zombie eat you.
I was going to say Indiana Jones. From the not Infernal Machine, Atlantis, whatever it was. Anyway, moving on. Assassin's Creed is going to have a number of 2D spin-offs that will be coming to the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC, so no last gen. These will take place in 3 different environments. The first game will be in China, the second game will be in India, and the third game will be in Russia. Each one of them will cost $10. However, if you had the Assassin's Creed Unity DLC Season Pass, you get it for free. Not bad. Kind of cool.
That is an upside, but the downside is that you paid for Unity.
Unity has divided us. Dark Souls 2 is coming to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and Digital Foundry actually did some tests on it. Here's what they had to say. Xbox One pays a persistent price for matching the PlayStation 4's visual standards. Both format targets 60 frames and engage VSyncs at all times, but Microsoft's platform suffers the greater drops between the two in each scene of our frame rate analysis. Both games, of course, will be 1080p. That game is coming out this Tuesday. So, if you have both systems, well, you probably should still play it on PC. If you really care about graphics that much, play it on PC. But if you have to choose from a console, PlayStation 4.
Isn't that always the right choice?
It can be. It depends.
But I mean, if you're going on the positive aspect of one system or the other, if you're trying to decide and you have both, isn't PlayStation 4 always the correct answer?
For the most part, yes. There's been a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, yes. Hey, here's actually some pretty interesting news about Demon Souls that got out this week. Speaking of Dark Souls, the director of Demon Souls, Miyazaki, actually came into the project rather late, and according to him, it was not looking good. And that's exactly why he wanted to work on it. Check this out. This is crazy. Demon Souls wasn't doing well. The project had problems, and the team had been unable to create a compelling prototype. But when I heard it was a fantasy action role-playing game, I was excited. I figured I could find a way to take control of the game. I could turn it into anything I wanted. Best of all, if my ideas failed, nobody would care. It was already a failure. I love that. I love that. He also
should have made it into a flying simulator.
Yeah, he should have turned it into a sequel to Superman.
Yeah.
He actually went on to say where that's taken him in his life. He says, "Now I'm president, and I get to meet a lot of other companies' presidents. They're such weird people. I'm fascinated by them. I use some of them as enemy characters in our games." Miyazaki's awesome. Anyway, so definitely check out Dark Souls 2. Miyazaki did not direct that, though. So
Wait, I thought you didn't like Dark Souls 2.
I think it's good. It's gotten better since they had a number of updates. It was disappointing. It's good, but it's disappointing. There's a difference. Like that Subway sandwich I had was good, but I was disappointed to find one of those plastic gloves in the second half. By the way, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Remember that raid mode that was going to be online? It's online now! So go do that. Unless you own an Xbox One.
Oh.
It's taking a little bit more time to complete, but it should be up and running shortly, according to Capcom. You got that right. Abby Hefty from Respawn Entertainment has dropped some hints about Titanfall 2.
Oh my god, I'm so interested in this right now.
Okay, here we go.
That's not sarcasm. I actually really, really want to play Titanfall 2.
Here's what we've got. The really nice thing about working on a sequel is that we have established the core of what Titanfall is. We have assets, we have an engine, we have all the things that we laid the foundation for in the first game that now we can really build off of in the second. So I think there's going to be a lot of stuff that people are going to be excited about, and that's all I can say. I really am excited to see where this game goes.
Wait, are they going to build Titanfall 2 in Source again? Or are they going to use Source 2?
I don't know. I assume that I don't know.
It's really impressive what they were able to do with Source for the first game.
I mean, when you really think about it, though, like the amount of modifications that they built into that engine, and even if you look at other games of last generation that chose to use Unreal Engine 2 over Unreal Engine 3 and still prospered greatly, you can never tell what's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for them. I would assume they'll go to Source 2, because I can't imagine why they wouldn't go back to Source 1 when I guess the transition is incredibly easy. That's why Source 2 is actually built into Source 1 at this point. If I'm not mistaken, it's very strange. But we have more Titanfall news. All the extra modes, all that extra DLC is now being integrated as regular playlists, which is just awesome. In case you don't know, the DLC is free. Go download it right now.
Yeah, download it so you can get into matches that are actually running.
Yeah.
Instead of sitting in a waiting room.
Unless you're at a doctor's office listening to this, then I can't help you. You're in a waiting room. Moving on. Bungie has now said that they're going to be booting all of those awful, evil, stupid, toxic players from Destiny. And they're doubling down on this. This is awesome. In Destiny's community, the efforts of a dedicated player can have a huge impact on the experience of hundreds of thousands of other players. Was that my iPad?
Yeah, I think you just got an email.
It's on mute. How does this happen?
Is your phone in here?
No, I don't have an iPhone.
That's weird.
When someone is willing to put in the time as a raid sheeper, a clan leader, or a forum moderator, we all benefit and Destiny becomes a little bit closer to its potential as a shared world. It's becoming clear that a small number of the worst idlers are responsible for damaging the experience of thousands of other players. One player not contributing in an activity might seem like a small thing, but it can make a weekly heroic strike unbeatable or make a Crucible match unwinnable. So now they're saying they're going to take those people, they've identified them, and they are going to be restricted to a small number of the most toxic players from matchmaking. So you're going to be idling a lot more jerks. I think that's awesome.
They shouldn't just ban them from matchmaking. They should just matchmake them all with each other.
That's what everyone else does, right? It works. That's what Call of Duty does. Did I mention Call of Duty again? Advanced Warfare, I think, is on sale this week. Like $30.
Wow, what a deal.
It's a really good game. Multiplayer-wise. I like Advanced Warfare.
Okay, here's the statement that I'm going to make, whether it's popular or not.
Okay.
Trying to sell me a game on the fact that its multiplayer is fun is completely pointless because I already own Titanfall.
Okay.
But Battlefield Hardline maybe because it's different enough.
All right.
Like it has modes that, like the heist mode.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really something that exists anywhere else. But Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, it's just going to be regular multiplayer.
Okay. So you let me know when Titanfall has Kevin Spacey. You go ahead. You let me know.
What if I don't want Kevin Spacey in my video game?
Well, I don't want you then.
I mean, like, if somebody were to tell me that the Call of Duty Advanced Warfare single player was really, really good, I'd totally buy it. Because I really like the single player of Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
The Advanced Warfare of single player is not good. It's not great. It's probably a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
I'm being real with
you. There's no reason for me
However, Kevin Spacey knocks it up to a 10 out of 10. There's this part in the game where he's just fantasizing about this teenage girl. It's really weird.
I think that's a movie.
It should be, because it was a very cinematic scene.
No, I'm pretty sure like you're actually talking about a movie.
No.
It's called American Beauty.
And then he walks out and his leg starts working better, and it was him the whole time. Moving on.
You just combine all of Kevin Spacey shit into one character?
Seriously, guys, go watch The Ref. It's the best Kevin Spacey film ever. Not kidding. The Ref. Dennis Leary and Kevin Spacey yelling at each other over Christmas.
Isn't that where Dennis Leary takes them hostage?
Yes. At one point, he tells his mother to buy a cross and nail herself to it. It's amazing.
I remember seeing a preview for that on a VHS tape.
Oh, my God. What was that? You know what? I missed that. What was that guy? That weird voice guy. And they used to be on all the VHS tapes where we'd be like, from Touchstone Pictures. You know, that guy. He was just a nameless voice.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
He was not the deep voice guy, so no one really remembers him. Yeah. Anyway, Jesus Christ, we just wasted a lot of time on Kevin Spacey. John Hamrick, he is the senior gameplay designer of Destiny. He's actually left to go join, wait for it, Bethesda, the internal development studio of Bethesda.
Fallout 4 confirmed.
Maybe. I do love it whenever people are bitching and moaning about Bethesda published games. I was like, stop with Wolfenstein, make this. It's like, you realize that they didn't make Wolfenstein, they published it, kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, we also have some good news for Dragon Age Inquisition fans. If you want a PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, or Xbox 360, the Jaws of Hakan will officially come to those systems in May. Last week we were discussing how they could not confirm exact release dates on there. But we have more Jade Empire news. Oh my God. Aaron Flynn, who is the general manager of BioWare Edmonton and Montreal, had to react to a question during a Kotaku Q&A that said, hey, how about that Jade Empire, huh? Where are we going with that? Here's what he said. Well, there's always hope. Both BioWare developers Mark Dara and Mike Laidlaw worked on Jade Empire, so they're advocates for it in the studio. So is Matt Goldman, DAI art director. I worked on it too. Our plate is awfully full right now, but the idea to go back to the universe does come up pretty regularly. Mark and I spend a solid 2 hours in my office talking about not too long ago.
That's never going to happen.
Never say never, he says, but no current plans.
Never.
Say never.
Never.
Say never.
Seriously.
Never.
I just don't think it's going to happen. They're too busy making Dragon Age and Mass Effect games at as fast of a pace as they can.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5 certainly had a mass effect when the patch came out and lowered the graphical specs on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. However, a brand new patch that increases stability and helps with online exploits has been released and is bumping the graphics back up to where they previously were. But they also discovered that a number of players were taking single-player-only cars and sneaking them onto the online game mode. Rockstar has reacted by making the cars implode as soon as you enter them online. Bless you, Rockstar. Bless you.
That's a pretty good one.
Here's some more 2K news. We have the brand new WWE 2K15 DLC coming out, and it's all about the Ultimate Warrior. It's going to be focused on the Ultimate Warrior as he faces off against Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, and Sergeant Slaughter. You're also going to have some extra playable characters, including Honky Tonk Man. I love Honky Tonk Man. Rick Rude, Randy Macho Man Savage from 1991, and Colonel Mustafa.
Wait, isn't that the Iron Sheik when he was with
Sergeant Slaughter?
Yeah.
I thought it was somebody different.
Was it? I'm 90% sure it was Iron Sheik.
As well as the 1991 Undertaker and the 1996 version of Hunter Hearst Helmsley, which I love his original music. That little fluty music, I love that. So awesome. So it's going to be very, very, very cool. You can also play Madison Square Garden from one of the Saturday Night main events. How cool is that? it looks pretty good. Hopefully that game will come to PC at one point because I think it's pretty good.
Somehow I doubt that.
And they accidentally released a picture of a PC version. Or at
I
least
would totally buy that just for mods.
Oh, that's what I'm saying, man. I want to play as the Jolly Green Giant. Moving on. Yeah, I know. That'd be cool. WWE 2K is also going to be coming to mobile with WWE 2K Mobile. Or whatever they're going to call it. I just made up that name. I don't know what it's really going to be called. It is going to be, according to them, the, quote, first simulation-based WWE video game and will be available on iOS and Android devices for $8.
Ooh, that's a lot of money for a mobile game.
I can't hear you.
That's a lot of money for a mobile game.
That's better. You want to go over to some more mobile stuff? How about the Smart Boy, which was a prank or April Fool's joke from Hyperkin that would transform your iOS into a Game Boy and allow you to play games on there? Well, here's the quote. A lot of you were speculating that the Smart Boy is an April Fool's joke. Well, it sort of was. We leaked it with the internal intent of testing the market, seeing whether or not it should be something we'd actually make under the guise of an April Fool's joke. Looks like you awesome folks actually want it, so the Smart Boy is now in development. I really appreciate that honesty. Because a lot of people be like, we didn't plan on this, but everyone wants it, so here we go. And it's like, no, this was a test. And they're like, yeah, it was a test. I say, good on them. Good on you, sir! Anyway, moving on. DuckTales Remastered is also coming to mobile devices, so maybe you can play that with the Smart Boy. Did you play DuckTales Remastered?
Yes, I have it on PC.
You have it on PC. Did you
No,
play it?
I played it, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't finish it, but I think I beat the first 2 levels.
What do you think of it?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot easier than the NES version. Because you have, like, unlimited lives. So.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or at least unlimited continues. Like, there's no real stakes. It's mostly just nostalgia circle jerking. Which I'm all for.
Speaking of nostalgic circle jerking, there's a brand new Marvel Heroes game coming to iOS and Android. You know it's true.
You're like precognitive. This is creepy as hell.
It is called Marvel Mighty Heroes and is being described as a co-op brawler. It is being made in a partnership between Marvel Entertainment and, drumroll, DNA in the game. No, DNA, the guys that are working with Nintendo. So
yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
I pulled that up on my iPad. It did not look good.
It looked like it'd be okay for children.
Yeah. It looks great for little Billy and Sally to click on that buy more coins button without telling their parents, and then suddenly 50 grand is down the toilet.
Yep. Suddenly Daddy can't work at the mill anymore because he's drinking too much.
Yeah.
Moving on.
No, suddenly Daddy has to go to work at the mill because he can't afford to buy alcohol anymore.
Ooh, that's
because
even
of
worse
his stupid
scenario.
Kids. So he's working in a mill while he's going through alcohol withdrawal.
Well, there's a lot of fumes at the mill.
I guess that's something.
Moving on. Kate Upton, of course, became the poster child for Game of War. Apparently, it's been a success because they now have a revenue of $1 million daily. That's what they told the LA Times. I'm not a fan of that game. I've played very little of it, but I just was like, okay, I didn't feel a connection. You know, I didn't feel like I was contributing. You know what I mean?
I really need to learn how to make mobile games. It just seems like it's such an easy way to make money.
Make Flappy, Brandon. Actually, don't make Flappy, Brandon. I don't want to know what's flapping. Tape it up.
Terrifying.
Tape it up. Moving on, Hideo Kojima has once again been erased from yet another Konami project, this time Silent Hills /PT. On the website, his name has vanished. So that story is continuing. However, the story for Metal Gear Solid, the movie, is about to be written as they have officially tagged Jay Basu as the writer. He's a British writer. He previously worked on Monsters, Dark Continent, and Fast Girls. Apparently nobody knows who he is.
This is going to end badly.
I don't know. Universal.
It's going to end badly.
Universal has been trying to get him to relaunch their Monster division for a couple of years, I guess. He has potential.
End badly.
See, here's the thing. That's what we don't know about are the scripts that haven't been released. Apparently, he's good from the movies that haven't been released. Like he has these scripts that have a lot of ideas in them. So I'm hopeful.
But if Universal wants to relaunch their Monsters franchise, do you think they're going to do it as like a serious relaunch of like making new versions of those movies?
I hope so.
Or do you think they're going to like ride the tongue-in-cheek wave of like making them low-budget-ish looking?
Seth Rogen is the Mummy.
Oh, I'm so high! Oh, I'm also Jewish, and I'm high. Oh, look, it's James Franco. I mean, the werewolf.
Ow, ow, ooh.
And Jonah Hill can play Dracula.
Guys, I suck. Coming this fall. Anyway.
I love it.
Thank you.
I'm in. I will invest in that movie on Kickstarter.
I need to figure out where they're filming that so I can burn the studio down. Witcher 3 is going to be coming to Xbox One later on, and it says it's going to be taking advantage of DirectX 12. So fans said, hey, cool, we're going to get 1080p? Maybe not. According to CD Projekt Red, they said if you really care about resolution, please play it on the PC. I love it. I just love how honest they are.
The Witcher 3 is going to be on something other than PC?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby.
Was The Witcher 2?
Yep. It was on Xbox 360. Witcher 1 was not on anything else. Either way, it'll be out on everything on May 19th. Pretty exciting.
And it'll be good on PC on May 19th.
It will be, we hope, because there's sure going to be a lot of it. According to CD Projekt Red, the game will be nearly 200 plus hours. Not nearly. It is going to be 200 plus hours if you want to do everything.
I thought you were going to say gigabytes. I was like, holy shit, that is a huge game.
Yeah, it's going to be 4-star Citizens rolled in one.
Ugh.
Anyway,
one of those patches.
Rod Coulson is officially leaving Codemasters, which is kind of a big deal, to become the CEO at Jagex. According to Jagex, Rod will oversee the company during a period of expansion in which the studio's flagship title branches out into a collectible card game via the recent announcement of Chronicle RuneScape Legends.
What the shit is Jagex?
It's like an Atari Jaguar, but a little bit more extreme.
No, I mean, like, what games do they make?
RuneScape.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So kind of a big deal. Hopefully Codemasters shapes up, though, because there have been a lot of jobs going under review lately, and that'd be really a big shame. They're one of the UK developers that's just been around forever, you know, so hope everything works out for them. Dirt 3, however, is going to Steamworks, and if you go to Steamworks, you lose all the DLC you paid for. So, what is Codemasters going to do about that? They said, you can just have all the DLC for free on Steam. Bless you, Codemasters.
So wait, they just made all the DLC free?
Yeah, Steam is going to be making a killing, I can tell you that much. But if Steam really wanted to be making a killing, check out Crawl, that upcoming game Crawl, where Gabe Newell himself will pull out 2 knives and attempt to murder you as a hidden boss. Gabe Newell, of course, is actually a knife collector. I'm not even kidding. That's true.
This game is going to sell a shit ton of copies now.
We'll see. I bet you it'll sell more. But we'll see. I don't know.
PC Master Race is probably they're all just furiously masturbating just thinking about a video game character that they're playing as being in the same room as Gabe Newell.
More like PC Masturbate. Elite Dangerous is officially coming to Steam right now. It's already out of nowhere. They just were just like, hey, that massive sci-fi game, yeah, cool, it's out. See ya.
They did the Five Nights at Freddy's release model.
Absolutely.
Hey, this game, it's out.
Yeah.
Have fun.
I mean, I Am Bread decided to take a different route. The game that was developed by the people that made Surgeon Simulator, I Am Bread, they announced will be leaving early access on April 9th. So, is that a release date? Who knows? Hopefully, it's cooked all the way through.
Ugh.
Although I expect that game to be raw. Hope it makes the cut.
Are you trying to set up a segue here?
No. Dead or Alive 5 came out on PC. It doesn't have online mode. That's pretty stupid. They forgot to put it in Steam Cloud and achievements. 2 of the stages are gone. See, I can do stuff without segues.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I know. All right, fine. Star Citizen, your favorite subject of the week. There's a $250 Star Citizen ship that was available at the end of March. However, its price has now gone up as of April 6th. You took a look at the ship. What did you think of it?
It looks pretty cool. It seems like kind of a deep space bomber type fighter. I mean, it looks huge. So, I don't know, $250. Like, if I had the money to spend, I would definitely buy it.
You said that it actually has some insurance for lifetime
insurance?
insurance?
Yeah, and also it offers lifetime insurance, which you were only able to get if you were an early backer of the game, or if you traded your ship to somebody through the gray market, and then they broke it down, rebought the package, and then sent it back to you. Which was risky because then that person could have just taken your ship and not given it back to you, and you couldn't have done anything about it. So,
Well, another Star Citizen news, it officially has crossed $77 million.
Oh, yeah.
It went up $1 million in 5 days, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time it's finally done funding, Star Citizen will actually be a separate reality.
Oh my god, it's going to be like Axiom Verge.
They'll actually just create a whole new universe. Like, that's how much money it will make.
Well, you know who else makes a lot of money? Raptor. Of course, this is a service that's basically like a social gaming service. You know, it's all about just kind of like showing off to your friends how much you're playing, what are you doing. And they have announced that they're going to have plays.tv, which is going to be a brand new service where you can share your favorite videos of yourself playing, whether that's on YouTube or Twitch or even on Play TV's own dedicated stream. Raptor seems to be growing awfully a lot over the past couple of years since it originally launched. Is this really worth their effort? I mean, I don't really know a lot about Raptor. Do you know anyone that's fully engaged in their service?
No. I mean, it runs in the background whenever I turn my computer on, and you get points for adding games to your library and playing games. And if you get a hilarious amount of points, which even with all my games, I still don't have enough points, you can redeem them for free copies of games. So it's probably like if you're an achievement hunter or a completionist, you can probably get away with using that to buy games. I don't really understand the point of it. Steam already has the integration for all this shit. So.
Well, now they have one thing Steam doesn't, which is, I guess, you can have your little video highlights playing on your channel, I guess. Here's something very interesting. We were talking about Reddit earlier. Well, apparently the mods of the League of Legends Reddit section signed an NDA with Riot. According to a report from the Daily Dot, this is going to allow those mods to have Skype connection to Riot and keep up to date with the latest stuff. However, it does seem to allow them to control or censor whatever information is going through their channel. Not to say that they will, but it does put them in a very odd situation where they are now benefiting from something that they are supposed to be, I guess, covering in a way. I don't know. Skeezy? Yes, no?
It seems like it is, but it could be totally on the level. I mean,
could be.
But it does, when dealing with anonymous internet people, I always err on the side of caution and just kind of assume that they're assholes.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, honestly, I don't blame Riot because, hey, if they have the opportunity to take control of a popular internet forum, why not?
Yeah.
They're in the business of making money. They don't care.
Yeah, and anybody that's browsed all on Reddit can see how popular League of Legends is on Reddit. I mean, it's pretty high up there almost every day.
Talking about more PC stuff, Kingdom Come has officially been delayed until summer 2016. This was the Kickstarter game that was originally intended to come out in December of 2015. It was seeking $300,000 and received over $2.3 million by the time its Kickstarter ended. They are promising that they're going to have a lot more stuff in the game thanks to this delay. I believe them. Moving on. I don't know. Where do you want to go right here? Evolve got new monsters. Isn't that exciting?
That actually might help the game a little bit. I mean...
Maybe.
Like, if you're going to just do the same repetitive shit over and over again, new enemies to fight, or characters to play as, and new maps, that's going to kind of be what helps.
I hope so.
And especially when you're giving everything away for free.
Well, that's basically what Project Cars is going to start doing. As soon as Project Cars comes out, they're going to have monthly DLC, and they're going to be starting that off with the Lycan Hypersport, which is the car featured in Fast and Furious 7. I'm sorry, Furious 7.
Don't you mean Fast 7?
Whatever.
Or do you mean and 7?
What do we say? We just got a couple more news stories. You can play Pac-Man on Google Maps. I tried it.
Super hard.
I don't understand the direction, how to control the direction he goes in.
Like, it was like, oh, okay, I want to go up, so I'll hit up. Oh, look, I went left.
Yeah, I don't know. It was very difficult.
Yeah. Cool idea, bad execution.
Well, speaking of being executed, the beloved American Dream couch from Battlefield Hardline is going to be nerfed as to not be as fast. According
that's
to
terrible.
Well, according to the developers, Visceral, they've said couch health reduced and repair rate decreased to a minuscule amount, making the couch the one-off it was intended. Oh well. I love you, couch.
I think that's terrible.
I know!
People were so excited about the couch, and then the dev's response was immediately like, oh yeah? Well, just ram it up your ass because we're nerfing the couch. Like, why would you take something that people like about your game and fuck with it? That makes no sense.
Well, that's what Loring Lanning is having to say. He is the Oddworld creator. He says that capitalism is taking games and murdering them. Here's what he said. As craftsmen, our opportunity lies in finding the niches where we know our audience, we focus on it, we listen to it, we respect it, we treat it with some grace. So the budget's going up. And now we're spending $20 million on the title and not $5 million, and at $20 million, we need better terms. You're going to do 10 times the work, you're going to get a fifth of the backside because we're risking all this money. Depending on how savvy they would be with the deals, usually they never made money. They were basically to stay in business. But the way the deals were structured, they were basically dead. It's kind of, he's basically saying there's just no profit in games anymore. And that the whole notion of increasing the revenue stream, increasing the amount that's spent in the games is actually going to hurt games in the long run. So it's like, we have to make this as a secure bet.
He may not be entirely wrong.
He's a smart guy.
But the way he says things he just sounds like an asshole.
I remember when he revealed the PlayStation 4 release date by accident and no one else covered it. He was talking on Vic's Basement and just said when it was coming out. It was so weird, and no one talked about it. My God, if I was doing the website by then, I would have gotten 1 million views. Oh my God. Oh my God. Moving on. Hey, the Mortal Kombat X producer, Sean Hemrick, has decided to no longer go on Twitter. Why? Because he's getting multiple threats to his wife and child. That is all for that story. Stop being shitty on the internet.
It's about ethics and journalism.
And that's going to do it for the pressure points. Music goes off. The music is gone now. So, we got 2 more segments to get to. They're both very, very short. I figured we should introduce a segment where we talk about, the history of video games in, less than a minute. Because we're going to find out what happened in this week in history. 21 years ago, well, where do we start? I say we start right here. 27 years ago, this week, April 8th, Double Dragon was released on the NES in Japan. Woo! 25 years ago, Ninja Gaiden 2 officially was released in Japan, which I thought was pretty cool. And 21 years ago, the beloved Neo Geo classic Windjammers was released in Japan. Now here's where it gets a little crazier. 18 years ago, Alundra was released. One of my all-time favorite PlayStation games. Have you ever played Alundra? Zelda, but just really good. Just go look it up. Oh my God, I love Alundra. And 10 years ago, Rise of the Kasai, the final entry in the Mark of Kree series, was released. Hard to believe. It was only 10...
I love those games.
10 years ago, man.
It was like a Disney aesthetic, but you got to murder the shit out of people.
Yeah, like Jungle Bonk over your head. No, like, because, can we just mention this real quick? The way that those games were essentially Batman, the Arkham games before those games came out.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I mean, like, you would sneak up behind somebody, grab them, strangle them, snap their neck, and then hide their body. But the visual style looked like a hand-drawn Disney movie.
I would say
it was simultaneously amazing and horrifying.
A lot of the indie games you're seeing, the 2D indie games, I think taking that aesthetic, swapping it between the cute and the graphically violent, I think a lot of that is owed to that game. And other titles like Alien Hominid, but that was one of the early ones that really did it.
Yeah.
Well, then those creepy NES games where you just die every 2 seconds and everybody saying shit in Japanese to you. Anyway, okay, so what's coming out this week? On Tuesday, we have Bastion on the PlayStation 4. Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin is coming to the PC, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. That's the update to last year's Dark Souls 2. And on the PlayStation Vita, we have Monster Bag, which I'm so excited for. Then over on Thursday, we have Fire on the PC.
What is that?
We have Flick Golf 3D on the 3DS. I Am Bread, as we mentioned, on the PC. And Star Drive 2 on the PC. And lastly, on the 10th, Friday, we have Dead Synchronicity Tomorrow comes today on the PC, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3D on the 3DS. That's what you're going to get. I guess we finally came to the end of the show. So, man, whenever I run out of segments, I don't know what to do.
Should we wrap up the show?
Yeah, let's close out the show. Brandon, where can people reach you on the internet?
On Twitter at Brandon Jonathan. If you are interested in getting one of those extra Triad Wars beta codes, just tweet me. And I'll direct message you the code, except one of them, which Colin is getting.
I was about to make a series of different Twitter accounts with my face with hats and mustaches. Mustaches.
I had five codes, and I have 4 codes. If you want them, I'm more than happy to give them out. I have friends that play PC, but knowing them, they won't play it before the beta ends. So if you want to play, just let me know. I will send you the code. And on Steam, I'm Brandon Snow with an O, or the 0, a 0.
You're doing
instead
great,
of
Brandon.
an O.
Don't worry about it. You're doing great.
A 0 instead of an O in Snow.
Beautiful. Okay, you can find me on the internet. I promise. At Dr. Crychop, at Dr. Crychop. That's at Dr. Crychop. Can't say that enough. And you can also go to youtube.com/gamesunderpressure. And please help me get enough subscribers to change the damn name of the URL. If you find one that says Games Under Pressure, that's Brian's stuff. You remember Brian used to be on the show. You want to click on Video Games Are Dumb, or click on Brian's stuff. I don't care. But click on my stuff too and subscribe to me. And then get me to 500 subscribers so I can get /Video Games Are Dumb. If you're wondering what the hell happened to Steve, listen to the end of the bumper after I do the whole promo run through that whole weekly video game news podcast is solely owned and operated, blah, 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 blah. After that bit, you can hear Steve's voice telling you what he's been up to this week. He left us a little message. So wait for the end of that. You can check out a bunch of episodes of the first hour. Go check out First Hour Weekly. That's a video where I take all the first hours and chop them up into tiny bits and make it into a brand new show. And you're going to see me do a video on Dark Souls 2, as well as 3 other independent games this week. And then on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be at the Midwest Classic Gaming Expo. Brendan will be there partially for the day, and I'll be there all day. So walk up to me and yell at me about something I said on the show or on the first hour. But that's going to do it this week. Thank you so much, Brandon, for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, listening to the show. Get out there and breathe in some air and have some fun. But be careful, because there are owls everywhere that might land on your head and crush your skull. But fear not. The PressureCast is forever. PressureCast, weekly video game news podcast, is solely owned and operated by Colin Tanner. Guests of the PressureCast are not employees or freelancers of Colin Tanner, the PressureCast, or VideoGamesAreDumb.com, and are not paid. Music featured on the PressureCast is property of their respective owners, and no infringement is intended. For more information, email pressurecast@gmail.com.
What's up, Pressure Pals? This is the wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing, limousine riding, jet plane flying, son of a gun. That's right, it's Steve. And I can't be on the show this week because I'm down in New Orleans, Louisiana. I gave a talk about Gamergate at a conference. It was fucking awesome. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, what the fuck are you doing? I'll tell you what you should be doing. You should play 80 Days if you got a mobile device, iPhone, Android. I played it on the plane. It's awesome. Play that. You know what you shouldn't play? Xenoblade, because it sucks.